All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome into the Couch Potato Sports Show. It is me, Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio. And that being said, I'm just having incredible in problems here. Let me see, Podfather, are you there? Turn your head around. How's everything with me? Am I all right? Everything good?
You're kind of frozen because of your background.
Let me take that off. Hold on. Settings. Just having all kinds of stuff going on here. All right, none. How's that? Yes, much better, much
That's
better.
better. That's better.
Yeah. All right. So that being said, let me. All right, in the middle. So, God, I can't get anything. Oh, that's why. All right, all right. Give me a
You still
second. We're
wearing
almost
your?
ready.
Are you still wearing your Santa suit from last night?
No, no, this just a nice shirt I like. So all right. I'm getting all kinds of crazy shit on my. All right, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready.
This is where you do this before the show.
No, you know what? I was up at the crack of dawn and not doing
So you had plenty
anything.
of time to
And
fix all this.
no, no, no! I never have a problem with it. I usually plug it into a different computer, and it works. Not getting to work today. So, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, did you watch Thursday Night Football?
I don't have Amazon, so I didn't really watch it.
So, but I mean, you didn't look at anything, all the things that are being talked about it or anything like that?
I know who won the game, but other than I know that the team I picked won, so I was happy with
Okay.
that.
All right. Well, lots of controversy in the game. So yeah, that's what I was asking if you've seen the controversy that was going
I
on.
probably saw it in passing, but you see controversial stuff every week, so it's hard to point one thing from the next week. So, I mean, I know there's a lot of referee issues going on here, which has always been the issue. So, I mean, this isn't anything new that we're getting used to. It just sucks when it's your team and it's happening to them, but it's
Gotcha.
the NFL. He's
Uh,
not for long, you know that.
yeah, that's usually what it means. Not for long and everything. Happy birthday, Greg Weber. All
Yeah,
right.
the birthday boy. Yeah, he's gonna get another birthday
The
here from the
Philadelphia
from
guy
the
going up against
Cowboys.
your team today. Yeah, he's probably excited about just
I don't know
beating them.
why he'd be excited about playing Dallas, though. I mean, it's no
Well,
big deal.
just to beat them up. I mean, come on. I mean,
I
let's get
mean, it's like
serious.
a preseason. It's like a preseason game in the division.
Something like that. I guess you could say that. Yes. So, and there are lots of controversy in Thursday Night Football, and the reason why, they were talking about the last play. They were going for two. They were going for the win. And the problem ended up happening is that they obviously weren't successful because they didn't win the game. But the last play, all the controversy over the last play seems to be what everybody's talking about. And you know, the last play being the 2 point conversion, Joe Burrow not going to Jamar Chase, going to his tight end in that situation. Just I guess it's easy to look at a game and then say, be the Monday morning quarterback in reality. And the simple fact of the matter is that I think that part might have been irrelevant. And I say that because the game itself was a great game. Probably one of the best Thursday night football games ever that I've seen in a long time. So you get a good game, then you get controversy at the end, then you get to certain things that have happened in the games and in the past. It makes you kind of wonder. And I had a little time this morning. This is what I was doing. I was putting things up and getting ready for the show. But I want to show you just a couple of things as far as that. First of all, let's take a look at Jamar Chase, what he's been doing so far in this season and what he did in that game. The guy, there's no saying you got a guy in the zone, you just get the ball to the guy who's in the zone, and that was Jamar Chase. And unfortunately, the I guess the Cincinnati Bengals had different ideas, or Joe Burrow had different ideas. I don't know. But that being said, with that loss, I want to put this up here. I want you to look at that thing right there. This is a guy that has one hell of a time against the Baltimore Ravens, and it's just like they cannot seem to find a way to get over the hump with this team. And in that division, of course, I don't know, man. What are they 4-7 or so, or not 4-7? They are 4-5 or something like that. I don't know the record. You can look that up for me while I'm trying to fix my other computer.
I could, but I won't.
Okay, but they are 4-6 or 4-7, 1-2. That having been said, in order for them to rip it off, we're in week now 10. So week number 10 is now that breaking point. They've had their bye. They got 8 more weeks to try to put this together to get into the playoffs. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. And the main reason, let's take a look at the remaining schedule. I mean, the Charger, I mean, if you're a Bengal fan, you kind of like 4 games right in the middle here. Cowboys, Titans, Browns, Broncos. If you're but you still have the Chargers, and you gotta. And by the way, they're not on a bye. Their record is 4-6. It's right in front of me. Okay, so they got the Chargers on Sunday Night Football next week. So they get a little mini bye here. Do you think I mean, looking at the schedule, do you think they have an opportunity to make it to the playoffs?
I think they can win 6 of those games for sure. I think they'll split with the Steelers. But the Chargers are beatable. Dallas is obviously beatable. Titans are beatable. Browns are beatable, and the Broncos. I mean, who knows what they're going to be at Week 17. So, I do see a split with the Steelers though. I mean, they have the opportunity to roll off with 6 straight wins and lose a final game of the last game of the season, which will still get them in the playoffs. One stat that you did not put up there, though, which I think is the most important stat of all, though, about Joe Burrows. Joe Burrows, 1 Super Bowl appearance. Lamar Jackson, 0. And yes, Lamar Jackson. So
it's going to be the story, right?
Yes, Lamar Jackson's got MVP the last couple of years. No rings. Joe Burrow's been the one. Has been the one of them. Didn't get a ring there, but at least he got an AFC Championship game. So, stats are fun to look at. That's all well and good. The end product, though, is more important. And Joe Burrows can say he's been to the final game of the season, whereas Lamar Jackson, as of right now, can't say that. So.
Very true. And as far as Lamar Jackson, this is the remaining games for Lamar Jackson. Tough schedule. I mean, outside of taking the Browns, this is a tough schedule for the rest of and the Giants.
I would not say that's a tough schedule. That is not a tough schedule. You still don't see the Steelers.
The Steelers.
Because they're still trying to figure out. The Steelers are probably going to be the toughest team on that list right now. The Chargers, again, we know who they are. The Eagles, I mean, yeah, the Eagles will win today, but they're not the toughest team in the East right now. The Giants, we see what they're losing to Carolina right now. Steelers again. Texans, I don't know who the Texans are this year. I'm starting to think that last year might have been an anomaly. Then you got the Browns again. No, good luck with all that. This is a pretty laid back schedule for the Ravens to finish out the season with, and at 7-3, that's a hell of a problem to have.
Yeah,
that's a really good problem to have.
That just depends on how complacent they're going to get, okay? And that's always been a problem. I mean, the Steelers game, that's not a walk in the park. Say whatever you want. That game's in, I was going to say San Diego, Los Angeles. The Eagles. That's not the pass are the Giants and the Browns. The rest of them, they're going to have to really, really, really play hard in order to get the victory. Now, at that point, will it matter? Depending on what it is, they're right now in a battle with the Steelers for the rest of the season. So I don't know, man. I see this one as a tough end of the schedule. I see it more tougher than what the Bengals have got to do. So you got the Bengals.
It's about the same. It's about the same from my point of view.
Yeah, I think if I look at, well, yes, because we're not completely sure who the Bengals are and are they capable. But I'll tell you right now, with Joe Burrow and the Jamar Chase, I mean, look at those numbers. Those numbers were crazy insane. Now, getting back to that last play, that's where I'm having a hard time giving people. They said it was a hands to the face. It was a roughing the passer. Everything. And all I got to say is you're watching that in fast speed and you're looking at the wrong place. Because, say whatever you want. When you got a guy that does what he does, I think all I got to do is go to a freeze frame, when I saw it. Because the whole thing went down. I want you to take a look at this. Okay. Next seconds, they're going to hit him in the head and take him down.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to take a look, which you can't do. But the reason why, and here's, folks, the reason why it was not called. This guy on the ground, look at him, blocked him into him. He fell down and pulled him down. He still has hold of the jersey on the other side. This is the reason why this was not called.
Well, but you can't see his other hand though if he's actually getting by the jersey or not. I mean, yeah, he's touching the jersey. I mean, he's holding it though.
What I'm saying is that they got the play call right. The play call is correct, and that is the reason why. Now, you and me watching in slow motion speed, I actually tripped into this angle. And that's when I saw that angle. And that was evidently a pure look for the official. You see him pulling him down here in this freeze frame. So, this is the reason why there was no penalty call in reality, and on that, and that's what the uproar is all over the internet right now, and the game about Thursday. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, we don't normally get good Thursday night football, so this is probably the best Thursday night football game. They probably only had 2 good Thursday night football games, and that was one.
What do you think about Thursday night football, Sonny? What do you think about Thursday night football in general? Do you think they should keep it or should they do away with it? I know they're going to keep it because of Amazon, but I mean.
Yeah, they're going to keep it because of Amazon, but more than the fact, I love it. I think it's even a bad game is, and I hear what people say. Oh, I don't want to watch this bad football. Well, yeah, no one wants to watch the bad football, and I get it, but it's better than nothing. I guess. I mean, and if you don't like it, you can go watch another show, go do something else.
Or
because
don't have Amazon.
Or don't have Amazon. Exactly. So, one of those, you've got to, I think, when you look at what Amazon is doing, obviously they're doing it for the rate, they're doing it, and the NFL is not going to stop doing it. Now, the only way that this goes, well, it's not even going to go away. And the reason why it's not going to go away is because it's a moneymaker. Whoever, the next bid for Thursday night football, is gonna pay a lot more money than what they're paying right now. So I think Thursday night is here to stay. I think they need to get a little bit better as far as the games that they choose. I guess that's always a good thing to really kind of ask.
It's so hard to pick that though at the beginning of the season because you don't know everybody. I mean, none of us here thought Washington was going to be the team. None of us thought that that the Dallas Cowboys, I thought they were, but no one here thought Dallas was going to be what they were going to end up being this year. Generally,
Generally,
I mean, hell, even the Eagles aren't really a big money maker, and they were supposed to be one of the teams in the East that was going to be dominating. The Niners. Look at the Niners. They're not even in first place. So,
it's a good point.
The thing is, it's so hard. I mean, it's the same argument for Monday Night Football. By the way, you can get off that screen if you want to.
Sorry, thank you. I'm working on my computer over on the other side.
I know. You need to pay attention to the show, sir. Come on. No, that's cool. No, but look, like Monday Night Football, it's hard to pick them. You want to give every team an opportunity to play on a game that is only specialized on them, but not every team deserves that. There was a time and place when the Dallas Cowboys couldn't get on Monday Night Football because no matter they're Dallas Cowboys, they were still a bad team.
Yes,
and you don't put bad teams on a team. But the thing is, you need to have like the schedule makers. Look at that and go, okay, let's be realistic. What have they done? And they put the schedule out almost a year in advance. So it's so hard to pinpoint that because a team like Washington will come up and bite everybody in the ass and only lose 2 games right now. And Houston. The Houston Texans could come out like they did last year and surprise everybody and go, God, that'd be a great team to have on Monday night. But they might only have Sunday Night Football. So we'll deal with that as best we can. The thing is, there used to be that one primetime game that was the one game everybody can watch. Now you have the Thursday night game, you have the Sunday night game, and you have the Monday Night Football game. That's 3. That's almost 1 too many for me because, not every team. Those are 6 teams you're sitting there saying, okay, they're qualified to be the team that we all should be looking at.
Right.
Teams like the Lions need to have that spot. Teams like the Niners. I hate to say it, the Niners second place. Yeah, they're still the Niners. They were in the Super Bowl last year. Teams like the New York Jets. I get it because of Aaron Rodgers, but instead they're going to put on their New England because of what they used to do. Well, that's not who they are now. So quit focusing on them until they get to where they used to be.
Gotcha.
It's hard. It's hard.
Fully agree.
Schedule making in the NFL, it ain't like in baseball and in basketball where we're going to play these teams X amount of times no matter what. So it don't matter. As long as the schedule works with everybody's traveling schedules, we'll be fine to do that. Because like if you're the Dallas Mavericks, if you have an East Coast swing, you got New York, Boston, and Philadelphia, then you come back down to Dallas. That makes a lot of sense. Yes. Whereas in baseball, okay, the Rangers are out there in Anaheim. Okay, after they're down in Anaheim, they're going to be up in Seattle, and then from Seattle they're going to be down. Then we can move them over towards, back down to Arlington here for the next couple games. It's all different. Hockey, same thing. Hell, the Dallas Stars had 2 games in Finland, and they were there for a week. But they put the 2 games back to back with each other, which made no sense whatsoever. Because you're still going to get the same amount of people coming to those shows. Why not spread them out for, have one game, wait a day or 2, and have the next game, and then come back. Not just, they're all there for a week. Don't just, scatter them around and, do their off times, have their bit of break with the game. But I'm not a schedule maker. Again, I don't make that kind of money, so.
Yeah, I understand. All right. That being said, of course, that's the name of this show. Okay. I'm going to bring him on in.
Dig it, sucker.
All right. I'm working on 2 computers, but it is Bryce from Brooklyn. See, I'm about on a 2-second delay, but I'm in there, and then I have to bring him in. There he is.
There he is.
I wanted to make sure you got it.
At least you had an intro. I didn't get that.
You didn't even get your
you have the best intro on this show.
I know he didn't use it.
Your
he
intro.
didn't even use it.
Your
Hey.
intro describes you perfectly.
Only thing he's mad. I'm having computer problems, so it's just like crazy stuff. I can't get. But that being said, hey, all right. So Bryce, I'm glad you're here because
Always
you
good to
have
be
a,
Just a girl out here though. He's glad you're here.
no. Well, no. The reason why I'm here is because he has a different outlook on the AFC North than most people do. Because why? His Steelers are there, and the game that happened on Thursday night was a big time. It was a big time game. First of all, that never mind the fact that it's AFC North, and whenever these, I'll even give the Browns a little credit. When it comes to AFC North games, they're usually there. They're ready to rock and roll. Now, unfortunately, the last play of the game is getting all the controversy. I don't know if you watched it. I unfortunately seen your message, and it was a little too late and couldn't do anything about it. But that having been said, did you see the end of the game? And what do you think about the 2-point conversion thing at the end of the game?
I did see the end of the game. We know the officiating in the NFL is not very good.
Right.
They missed a ton of calls. I did see the end of that game. I loved the decision to go for 2. I loved it. Do it. You got this offense. You're also making a statement, and the Bengals have to lean into this, that your defense is not good, and you need every point you can get.
Absolutely.
I hated the play call. I just hated it. I mean, it looked stagnant. It was static. You had Jamar Chase singled up, but you didn't even look at him. You didn't bunch anyone up. You didn't try to rub anyone off. You didn't create any conflict. It was a terrible play call. Just awful at the end. Didn't like it, but I love the decision to go for 2.
All right. That being said, let's bring him on in. He's the fine co-host of this program.
There he is.
There he is. Good to see you. I'm working on 2 computers, so bear with me as we go through today. How you doing? Good to see the fine co-host of this program.
Fine co-host of this show.
Missed the morning picks last week. He's pretty upset at himself.
I am.
But,
Yeah. But I made sure to do it today. It's good to be back, guys. Been gone a couple of weeks. But
I mean, we haven't seen him since that faithful play. I thought maybe he was running away from us. He didn't want to talk.
No. Well, since he's here, what was your take upon that?
This is what I've been waiting for. This is what I wanted. I asked about this last week. I'm like, where's he at? I came on because I wanted to hear this.
I was in Arizona, Bryce. I'm sure you heard. But I was in Arizona to watch them get whooped in the desert. That was not fun to watch. But look, I mean, obviously I've calmed down since then. If you would have caught me after that happened, I was like a fireball.
I bet, and not only that, let me just interject really quick because I got some information. He's mad that this football team was playing really, really, well, not good. But then he got hailed on in a dome.
Oh, fuck.
Got hailed on in a dome. So, I mean, how wet did you get? It's just that I had to know. I got to know. By the way, I found out where he was. I went back and watched the game. I seen him actually he was in the end zone, weren't you? You were in the end zones.
We were in the end zone.
Yep. So because he didn't answer my question, I sent him a text. I said, "Where are you sitting?" He didn't answer my text, but
I don't remember getting that, Sonny.
Yeah,
but
you'll have that.
Regardless, we were front and center in the end zone on the side, on the Arizona side.
Right.
No, the hail missed us. It was right there on the side that we were sitting. So you could see it. It looked like rain at first, but then we looked closer and we were like, wait a minute, that's hail. What the? So then they started closing the roof at that point. It's a really slow closing roof, by the way. So
10 minutes.
yeah, it
Minimum.
took about 10 minutes. Yeah, sounds about right.
So yeah, that was
let
funny.
me channel myself going back 2 weeks now.
All right.
And you know, I mean, it just wasn't meant for them to win the game. There's too many mistakes throughout the game. Hey guys, we're at the 2-yard line, right? I got a great idea. Let's give it to the backup center, who's never had the ball in his career, who's never took a handoff in his career. That's a great idea, and we're down 5 points, by the way. If you're up 20, okay, try it, see what happens. Shane Waldron. Anyways, so then you got Tyree Clown Stevenson celebrating, on the side of the end zone before the play even started. And then as the play starts, he's still, whatever. Bears fans are like, hey, dude, there's a play going on. You got to get your ass over there. So then he's like, oh. And then, of course, just in typical Bear luck fashion, he's the one that tips the ball to Noah Brown in the end zone. I was like, you've got to be effing kidding me.
It's not even ironic. I mean, it happens that kind of stuff happens so much, it's not even ironic.
It was poetic justice, Sonny, and I can't explain how that could never happen twice. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
It happened once. It was a 1 in a million chance. I just don't know if it'll ever happen twice. But
so yeah.
So then we go.
Continue on.
So then we get to next week, and I'm live in person watching, and it just feels like since the bye week, guys, the Bears have gone back to their old ways. The offensive line is not blocking. We're gonna try screens to Gerald Everett. And by the way, in the past 2 games, Cole Kmet's been targeted once. Would you guys say Cole Kmet? Could I make the argument for the top 10 tight end in the NFL? Cole Kmet. Would you guys agree with that?
Say it again.
Pretty much, yeah.
But what was the question? Or is Cole Kmet what?
A top 10 tight end in the NFL.
Okay.
I mean, top 12.
Even if he's 10, I mean,
say 12 to 10.
12 to 10. That's still in the upper half,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
How are you going to only target him once in 2 games? And listen, let me tell you something. If, in fact, because there are rumors going around that because of how some of the players came out and spoke out about and questioned the coaching, the leadership, if that's the case, if that's why he's been, I guess, shunned from the offense, then shame on them. Shame on them, because you're letting your personal opinion, feeling get in the way of what's the most important thing, and that's winning football games. So that all being said, I've tried to give this coach the benefit of the doubt, as in, you know what, the roster's not where it needs to be. Can't really, who could really win football games with that roster? Now that the roster's built, and now that, supposedly we have most of what we need in place, we should be winning football games, and we should be winning against quality teams. Just hasn't happened. This guy is 0-18, I believe it is. I'm sure you guys have heard the stat because it's been talked about all over First Take and Get Up, all the shows on ESPN and the Film Network. Matt Eberflus has not won a Sunday road game. 0-18. He is 0-18.
No,
yes.
I did not.
I didn't realize that.
He is 0-18, guys, on Sunday road games. The only 3 wins that he's had on the road were a Thursday game against Washington last year, a Monday night, the last year in Minnesota when Josh Dobbs was the quarterback, and New England on a Monday night 2 years ago. Those are their 3 road wins.
Wow.
I didn't know
2
that.
That's
Mondays
incredible.
and a Thursday. So they're all about not firing in season. I say the hell with that, because you know what the Bears have been doing historically, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So if they lose to New England today, guys, maybe
God, I hope not.
maybe
God,
maybe they give
I
them this
still
last.
disagree with you. I don't know why. Because, okay, you're lucky to have your rookie quarterback 4-4. Okay, they can't all be the one over the rookie quarterback in Washington. They can't be the other rookie quarterback that in Houston. I mean, 4-4. You should be now. Don't get me wrong. They've lost games stupidly. I completely, and has nothing to do with the rookie quarterback. I completely get that. But that's what happens when you have a rookie quarterback. You got new players on the teams and a new philosophy. So I think, and I'm known to be wrong more so than not on the show. No, not me, not me. I don't know why. I want to give him a pass, and not the quarterback. I'm talking about the coach. The coach is still trying to figure out what works, what's not. But what really kind of stands out in reality on what Cuervo is saying about getting rid of him, he's like, just that play alone, seeing that young man doing what he was doing at the end of the game, tells me he's lost the locker room. They don't respect him. They don't respect the game. And when they don't respect the game, that's a coach's fault, because they got to teach that into them. So
that's also hot dogging too. That's also hot dogging for today's athlete. Tell them the visiting crowd, yeah, we got you. We the ones in charge. You can't do nothing to us. And I was like, oh shit, that's happening. I missed out on that one. I mean, that's like a player running to the end zone and spiking the ball at the 1 yard line, thinking he crossed the boundary. That's all that is. I mean, you see it everywhere. It's dumb athletes doing dumb shit. And the thing is that is it going to take a coach to poke him? No, it's going to take someone to kick him in the ass and go, look, the game ain't over until things at 0-0-0-0. So until that happens, shut up and get out there and play. That's on the coaches at that point. But at the same time, you cut me out there, Sonny. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm done. I'm done. Go ahead.
I'm on a 2-second delay. You got to understand. So,
we see that. Yeah.
Anyway, next time I do have a chair, I am gonna give him a chair shot. That's how much I love the guy. So since he ain't finishing, Bryce, go ahead. What's your take upon what you're hearing?
This is where what's funny to me is that I have always and Obi is like this too. It's funny because we had the picture of Cuervo and Obi and loved it. They met. I saw the picture. They have the same thing that, yes, love that picture. They are two of the most reasonable diehard fans that I've talked to. They're reasonable on this show. They're fun. They're smart. They know. But this is the thing that disgusts me about both of them at the same time, is that sometimes when it comes to their points of view and their teams, is that they go through all of this stuff before getting to the real issue that they don't want to say. And here's what we should have said in the beginning. I'm agree with Sonny. Matt Eberflus is not the coach for this team. Matt Eberflus is not a head coach. Matt Eberflus consistently does not have this team ready to play. That is the main problem. I think there are times the Bears play hard, but they do not play smart, and it is consistent throughout their tenure. He has not built that team in a way where they can go out and play football the way they need to play football. There's too many times where you watch the Bears we've come on this show, Cuervo. We have asked, what is the identity of the Bears and what are they trying to accomplish? And we don't know. That's happened a couple times since Eberflus has been the head coach. You know what that tells me? They have the same problem that Matt Canada had as the offense. It was the coach that the Steelers had. He couldn't establish an identity. He wasn't good schematically. He didn't motivate guys consistently enough. He couldn't get guys on the same page. That's a coaching issue. What I heard from those players over the last few weeks tells me that they got a problem with this guy. Now, that extends down to the Tyreek Stevenson issue and the silliness as a player. And then, he came out and some of the things that he said, he did take accountability for it, but it's just the culture in there seems too loose. It seems very loose. It doesn't seem like Eberflus inspires. I don't see a real leader of men from that guy. From that
inspire greatness.
I like that. Yeah, I like that.
And I think they don't have a leader of men. I think they've got a quarterback, ton of upside. Now, should they have let go of Justin Fields based on what we've seen? Could they have been in this same place? Probably, but whatever. You got a rookie, he's got a high pedigree. You got to get a better coach in there. I mean, look, if the Bears were smart, they would actually go out and even though as a GM, this is a risky move, but as a head coach, if you can get in front of Bill Belichick, I would. That's the type of coach that the Bears need. A guy that can come in, brilliant schematically, instill a level of confidence, toughness into that team, that they're going to play a certain way. That's the type of coach that I think they should go after. But it's Eberflus, Cuervo. Everything starts with him. That he's not a good head coach.
Oh, I don't deny that one bit.
And so from there, he hired an offensive coordinator that, Shane Waldron, he's a guy. It doesn't really. I don't think what they do moves the needle. He's a jag. I don't think what they do moves the needle. So when we say they somehow lucked into, no, they don't seem prepared for every situation and dialed in for every situation. That comes down to their preparation.
Lucked into what?
When you said, well, sometimes they lucked into or they had bad luck with the Hail Mary or with some of the penalties and all that. I think though there's a consistency with the Bears where it's not just about they've had bad breaks, some of that, but I think a lot of their bad breaks come because they have a team that directionless and isn't prepared enough for those situations.
Well, yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned that. Go ahead, Trey. I know you were trying to say something.
No, hey, Sonny, if you can you put that picture back up of Obi and Cuervo?
Mm-hmm, that one right there.
I have a question. This is bothering me all week.
I hold on. I know where he is going completely now that I see this picture. Go ahead.
Okay, my question to you, Cuervo, is: are you that tall, or is Obi that short?
Obi is that short.
Obi's that short.
Okay.
So, yes. I knew exactly where he was going because I've known the man for over 30 years.
Yeah,
so I knew exactly where. And then I've known this guy for as long as I have. I knew he was going to go that route.
Can I say something too? This is also why I said what I said, because Obi will come on the show and I mean, he'll have very down-to-earth analysis. He'll really point it out. But then some points will come up about player behavior and all that. And then he reverts back to yelling at the crowd or coming up with these wild reasons, or his boy Marvin Harrison, if he doesn't get 30 targets a game, then the world's against him, or some other wild opinion that isn't backed by anything. And you're like, where did that come from? How did
wait, hold on. Now you got me confused. Are you saying that the fact that they don't throw the ball to Marvin Harrison is not a big issue in Arizona?
No, I'm saying that what I hear is rookies need to be quiet, know their place until it comes to my guy, who needs now 30 targets a game, or else they're screwing him in the organization.
Plus he hates the quarterback. But
he hates the quarterback. All reason goes out the window.
absolutely, completely get it, and I kind of like it,
I
but
hope
that's
he's
just me.
I hope he's hearing
But-
this right now. I hope he's hearing this.
Now, I'm going to bring Cuervo back into this. I don't know if you saw Thursday Night Football. I wanted to get your take up on the last play, all that good stuff, and, because it was a big game. It's AFC North stuff, and, smash mouth football. Comes down to the last play, 2-point conversion, and things of this sort. So I wanted to get your opinion up on that because of what it stands for. A win for the Bengals in that game makes 3 teams in the AFC North again viable for the playoffs. This loss, it doesn't really take away their chances of getting there, but here's their schedule. This is what they're looking at. What do you think about that last play? What do you think about the Bengals' chances of making the playoffs going into this? But I really want to hear more about the last play, what you think.
Yeah, so I actually was in school that night, so I didn't see the play, and
Gotcha.
I didn't really have cut any highlights, but yeah, I mean that's what seemed everybody was talking about the next morning was, I guess Cincinnati went for 2, didn't get it or something like that. They
went for 2 and then didn't get it. Bad play call, like Bryce said. It was a horrible play call, by the way. When you got Jamar Chase with 250 some odd yards, 4 touchdowns in the game, you just throw it to him. That being said, and the reason why everybody wants the hands to the helmet to Joe Burrow, that was the big argument this week. It was a big shot and then roughing the passer. So so. I found it. So here's YouTube. Here it is. I mean, I already showed the Podfather, but here's the play. Okay, as the freeze frame is set, he hasn't even gotten into him. Ball is gone. By the way, the ball is gone. But the reason why this is not a penalty in him hitting the head and roughing the passer is look at the arms of this offensive lineman. He's pulling him down. He's pulling him into it. And this is the part that people are not seeing. They're not understanding. And this is the reasons why. Everybody said that. Now, that being said, Bryce, you and I both know, okay, the officiating throughout the game was really bad, but they got that one right. So the negativity of what they were doing before that play just reverts there, and everybody thinks they're wrong, but they actually got this right, and people are not admitting that that's what happened, and that wasn't a flaggable offense, at least is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be the officials are always going to miss some calls. It's just a matter of they need to get the replay matching. They need to get the replay a little bit more consistent to be able to look at some of these calls to make sure they're getting the ones that are really affecting the game, right? And I mean, they need to really do that because you can't just have some of these blatant, like the hit to the head to Joe Burrow. Like there needs to be consistency. It's either a foul and a penalty or it's not. And if it is, then be consistent and call it.
I'm not understanding this message. So whoever put that in there just says it feels like the cloud has been lifted. I'm not sure. I don't know. Whoever that is, elaborate. That's the reason why I put it up. I want to elaborate. All right. So that being said, all right. So we got through Thursday Night Football. So I'm going to ask Bryce, and then I'll take it to Cuervo. What do you think the chances of the Bengals, making this a play, going for it? I mean, I'll help you out. I'll put the schedule up so you can take a look. And here's your Bengals schedule. This is what you're looking at going into this. So, I think it's doable. It's doable. I don't know. What do you think, Bryce?
I think it's doable, but they're definitely not out of it. Their offense can keep them into any game, but they don't stop anybody. The defense is barbecue chicken, and it is
barbecue chicken. Okay. Mm-hmm.
The defense is barbecue chicken, and when you don't stop anybody, that means other teams always have a chance against you. I'm looking at the Chargers. I'm not giving my pick yet, but that's gonna be a tough game. The Chargers don't have great talent on offense, but they're very contained. They're very consistent. They have a good floor. They play good defense. So that's going to be a challenge. You still got to go against the Browns. That's a division game. Browns aren't great. You got to play us, and our defense is going to be ready. And even though that receiving core with T. Higgins when he's healthy for the Bengals, that's a salty group. I mean, I'm not going to lie. They got one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Are they going to be able to stop our offense with the way our offense is playing? Our offense is becoming very, consistent, two-dimensional offense. There's a lot of depth. So, there's that piece. Titans, Cowboys, those are definitely winnable games. Broncos, can the Broncos score enough? There's a pathway here, but the path is you have to beat the Steelers, one of those games, and you have to beat the Chargers.
Yep.
I think,
and if they drop a Cowboy, Titan, Bronco, or Browns game, I think they're sunk. And the main reason why is almost the reason why the comment that came across, you can't stop Mahomes, what does it really matter, is a good point. I'll tell you the reason why, because they're so much better than the Cowboys. They're so much better than the Titans. They're so much better than the Broncos. And it's just, so whoever the Facebook user, I think this is a guy I was at my gig yesterday with it I was out serving coffee. I think that's who it might be. But I will say this, this is doable as far as where they are. What do you think, Cuervo? Look at this schedule. Do you like their chances? I mean, this is a team that for the last 3 seasons, at least traditionally, seems to pick up the pace right about now going into the playoffs.
That is true. We talked about that at the beginning of the season. Is Cincinnati slow? They start off slow and then they start turning it on. Come around Halloween time. This time of the year. Looking at that schedule, I mean, look, and I'm not just saying it because Bryce is here, but you still got the Steelers twice. You got to play. You still got. You know what? I'm just gonna throw it out there. This may sound crazy. I'm looking at that Tennessee game. Can they match the physicality up front that Tennessee brings with a Tavondre Sweat, Jeffrey Simmons? Is that offensive line going to be able to hold those guys? Because that's the biggest knock on Cincinnati, right? Is their offensive line is they turn into mashed potatoes sometimes, and you just get right through, but. And then obviously that's why I'm looking at those 2 Steeler games as games that, is that line going to be able to protect Joe Burrow, or is TJ Watt going to have his way? What's going to happen with is the line going to be able to continue to make at least some time for Joe Burrow to get some plays off? Now, obviously what he did Thursday night, again, I didn't watch too much of the game, but it looked like the Ravens had some trouble getting pressure on Joe Burrow. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm way off. And him to throw over 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, that tells me that he had time in the pocket. Obviously, Jamar Chase, created space, which is very rare against the Ravens defense. So, that Raven defense is a little suspect right now, to be honest with you. And looking at their schedule, they're going to have a tough time. I would even say against the Chargers, the Chargers are going to give them a tough game. The Eagles are going to give them a tough game. They got the Steelers twice. Those are going to be tough games. Houston's going to so the road for Baltimore gets tougher starting next week at Pittsburgh. So yeah, the Ravens are going to have to figure out on defense. They're going to have to tighten up and be who we have known the Ravens to be on defense, a team that gets a lot of pressure. They lock down in the secondary. We got to see what's going on with Kyle Hamilton. That's a big injury if he's going to be out for a while. So the Ravens, even though 7-3 is looks nice, I just think that I think it's a little they did what they needed to do their first half of the schedule. Now let's see what they can do with these division games.
That's another defense right there that, Cuervo, I'm going to tell you something. Defensively, that ain't coming back this year. The script has flipped on the Ravens in terms of how they need to win. I think the defense can get better, but that defense I always compare Ravens since it's the Ravens and Steelers. I always compare the Raven defense against itself. There is a standard in which the Ravens play defense. it's not they're not going to meet it like they have in the past. That defense, if it's not barbecue chicken, it's rotisserie. Like they
cooking
can't
up.
they can't stop people consistently. They can create some havoc every now and then, but because they have better players on defense than the Bengals, but they can't stop anybody. And it's that's going to be tough because they got the offense that can go toe to toe and outscore you, but if another offense can just keep up a little bit, and you have a defense that can play more consistently and at least make them punt a couple times or get a turnover, you got a chance.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly enough, by the way, just let everybody know the Carolina Panthers up 10-0 on the Giants. They're playing in Munich, by the way. So just give you an update up on that. Now, that being said, I want to go to the man in the right-hand corner. The one, the only, Trey Mack, as the Dallas Cowboys are in action today. And I want I want to talk about this game because there is so much riding on this game. I mean, in reality, because you take a look at the schedule or you take a look at the standings. Okay, now granted, this is not a good football team, and no one's saying it that they are. Okay, so I just want to put that to the point.
Well, someone was. He's wearing a red sweater.
Oh no. I'm just saying right now they're not a good football team. I thought
Even
they'd
their
win this
biggest
division.
fans
It's
said they were
obviously
6-11.
not going to happen. But when you're 3-5, okay, and you've got the many games that you got to do here. You got 8 games underneath your belt. You got 8 more to go. They lose their quarterback.
That's 7 more, sir.
I mean, it has now turned into a dumpster fire. It was bad enough before, okay, but now you don't have Dak Prescott. So so I want to find out how the Podfather's feeling about the Dallas Cowboys with their backup quarterback, and I want to know: do you think they should be on the phone trying to find a quarterback? And I'm going to tell you who they should be going after. Right now, when you're all done, I'm going to tell you who they should be going after. Go ahead there, Trey Mack.
Well, they shouldn't go after anybody because they got Trey Lance on the sideline right now. Go ahead and play him. You only got 1 year left in him. This is the rest of the year is to find out who you got on your team. Cooper Rush is a good backup quarterback, no doubt about it. When he has weapons, he has only one weapon. And that's CeeDee Lamb, and that's when he wants to show up. He doesn't have a tight end. He doesn't have another receiver. He definitely doesn't have a running back. So you can and the offensive line is suspect already. So you can rule out any weapons he would have had years before to what he has now. So use Trey Lance. You're probably not gonna re-sign next year. Just play out the string, see what you got in him. Keep Cooper Rush as your immediate backup because Cooper Rush knows the offense. Cooper Rush knows how to come in as a backup. Look, this year was F from the minute from right before the Browns game started when everybody was going, oh my God, they're probably the best team in the league. To whereas no, they weren't. I told you they were 6-11. My question is, where they're going to find the other 3 wins? Maybe Carolina. Maybe Carolina's beating the Giants right now, so it's hard to say. Look, Jerry didn't get on the phone during the offseason to go find players. Why would he do it during the season? And when he does, he gives up a 3rd round or a 4th round for a guy who may have played a handful of plays this year.
Jesus Christ!
Right.
I mean that just goes to show.
So Sonny, shut up. My turn.
No,
shut up.
I'm talking to myself.
Well, then do it. Put you in mute. All right. But look,
all right. I got mute.
Here's the thing. This team, as I said, this team is not very good. We knew this from day one, and. There are little moments you look at and go, well, they're playing the Niners. The Niners kind of are beat up, and maybe there's a chance. Those days are gone, okay? This team, mean, there's no reason to ever pick them to win because they don't want to win out there. I'm not saying they're trying to tank, but I'm saying they don't know how to play, good football on a consistent basis, if any kind of basis right now. Because once again, to play a great offense and to have a great offense, you got a running game and a passing game, not just a passing game that is only good for 3 downs. Okay. Look, kudos to Brandon Aubrey. Okay, he is the one consistent player on this team that has done any scoring at all, and that's only 3 points. So, good kudos to him. If they can win every game for 12-9, I'm all for it. But it ain't gonna happen. This team sucks because the owner did not make the team better because he knew it was a lame duck season for his current head coach. If he had to have a reason to not re-sign Mike McCarthy to go out and get somebody possibly a little better, this was him creating doubt. That's all it was. The thing is, the owner of the team, the general manager, which is a stupid title to give him to begin with, he knows what he's doing to better the team for the next generation of Cowboy fans because he knew so well about it the last time, right? No, he's an idiot. So, look, this is what we get. He made a deal with the devil back in 1995, saying I can get one of 500 coaches to come in and coach this team to the Super Bowl, and he got Barry Switzer, and he got one. And since then, what's happened? It's all gone downhill. Yeah, they've had some okay seasons, but definitely nothing to where it's been considered a Cowboy type season. So yeah, he made a deal with the devil. This is what, and we're dealing with it right now. And we're dealing with bad quarterback play, bad offensive play, bad defensive play. Micah Parsons coming back for this game. He's only had 1 sack all year, and that was the first game of the season. So think that your best defensive player, when he did play, he only got 1 sack.
Pretty pathetic.
Yeah. They suck at turnovers, which, by the way, is almost a key thing for a Mike Zimmer defense because he's good at 3 downs and out, but he was never good at getting turnovers. Whereas Dan Quinn had no problem getting his team in place for turnovers. Look what's going on in Washington. We're seeing that over there. So
The whole
I think,
defensive scheme's a
for
mess.
anybody to pick Dallas to win any games this year, yeah, it's a complete overhaul. And like I said, they should go ahead and just start Trey Lance, or at least get him acclimated into the game. Say, look, let's see what you can do. We're paying you all this money that we traded for you at. Let's see what you got. But we made a dumb move.
Did they spend a lot of money on him, Godfather?
And see what you can do. What?
Did they spend a lot of money on him?
When they trade for him, they're still paying the rest of his contract. So if they're going to go and pay him, let's see what he can do.
Yep.
Yeah, so I don't think it's that great. He's still a rookie contract, but I mean, but this is last year. Let's see what he's got. Utilize him. I mean, why not? You got nothing else to win for. You got nothing else to lose. So
Cuervo.
And hell, you don't have a running game, but he's a running quarterback. You utilize him.
Cuervo, I'll shoot you. Sorry about that, Papa. That 2-second delay's killing me. Go ahead, Cuervo.
Who were you referring to, Trey, when you said that they traded for and that they're paying his contract out? Who were you talking about?
Missed that part. Trey Lance.
Trey Lance. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know who Sonny's going to say that they should go get. If you didn't know, Sonny, I might have to shoot your dreams down here. Trade deadline's already gone, so if it's a trade, it ain't going to happen. So.
Nope.
If it's not a trade, all right, cool. Then I have no idea where he's going with this, and
of course you do.
I'm sure. I can't wait to see Bryce's reaction when
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, pull him from there.
My all-time favorite player, right?
Who's the quarterback?
Let's go to the list of Sonny's quarterbacks. Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I like the idea of playing Trey Lance, and the reason for that is because. Would you guys give up a 4th-round pick to get him? I think it was.
It's stupid, yeah. I mean,
but you know what? That's what you guys paid. Why not see what he can do with this offense? You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to hear about, well, he threw 5 picks in the preseason. Preseason, that's different. It's a different situation. Dallas is probably not doing the same things they were doing in the preseason from an offensive play calling standpoint, whatever. Roster, starters are not playing, whatever. See what you got with Trey Lance. I mean, he's a mobile guy that can move the pocket, and can, with his legs, he can extend some plays. I mean, we've seen it before. So why not see what you got in him? Why go out and spend more money trying to fix what you think is broken when you've got somebody right there on your roster already who you don't have to go and spend money to use? So, because here's the thing, Bryce, you want me to get straight to the point? I'll get straight to the point. Dallas's defense is terrible. They're terrible. They're not going to win very many games with the way that defense is playing. Hey, I love Micah Parsons. I'm glad to see he's going to be back on the field. But just Mike Zimmer, it's kind of like Shane Waldron with the Bears offense. You thought it was going to look good at the beginning of the season. You're like, oh, it's going to look great because we've seen the resume that Zimmer brought to Dallas. The success that he had, just like with Waldron in Seattle, it hasn't quite worked out for either one of those guys. So I just don't see, just like Bryce mentioned about the Raven defense, I don't see it getting much better for the Dallas Cowboys. I think Bland is still out, if I'm not mistaken. Parsons hasn't played in who knows how long. I've lost count of how many weeks.
4 or 5 games.
Yeah, Trayvon Diggs is we all knew he was a little overrated, but
he's hurt, but he's hurt, but he's useless right now.
Yeah, there you go. So, and then up front, DeMarcus Lawrence, is he even playing? That's the thing. I can't remember if he's even on the team right now. So the point is, the defense is playing terrible, and it's just not going to get any better. So why go out and spend money on a quarterback that you think is going to save your season?
Yeah.
Bryce from Brooklyn.
I would go with. I understand Cooper Rush is the guy, but kind of with the consensus of the group, Trey Lance. I would go with Trey Lance for the rest of the season. I would see what you have in him, because ultimately, if that, you might be able to trade him or use him as a piece to build assets. You're going to need that. So I don't have much to add. I would stick with Trey Lance this year. I would go to him.
I completely agree with every single one of you. Completely. First of all, they need to do Trey Lance. Cooper Rush, you already know who Cooper Rush is. Cooper Rush is a career backup quarterback. Simple. Okay. Mm-hmm. He's never going to be anything else but. Now, Trey Lance, on the other hand, still young in his career. You got to give the guy a chance. Completely miss by whether it's Jerry Jones, whether it's Mike McCarthy, whoever the one, and there's one of those two, to pick Cooper Rush to be the quarterback. Listen, Cooper Rush is good in a pinch. Well, this is not nearly a pinch, okay? All right? And I completely agree with you. But in the Dallas Cowboys standard, if they were going to go out and get someone, Ryan Tannehill is about the only one that you can go out and get. Now, the problem with that is Ryan Tannehill is not stupid. Ryan Tannehill is not stupid. He knows what that offensive line is. He knows he's not, mobile and everything. But if they can somehow protect him, you got to get somebody who's been in there if they're honestly thinking that they're going to make a run, which I can't even pinpoint, mentality of Jerry Jones. I don't know if he's serious or not, or if he still wants it. But if you're going to do it, you got to get a guy who's been there, done that. And Ryan Tannehill is the only one available right now to do that. Say again?
Sonny, he's got a big payday coming up. He's got Tyson and Jake Paul hitting, Cowboy Stadium here in about a week. Okay,
I know.
He's excited about that.
I'm just saying.
I'm telling you that's the downfall of Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones he has a nice toy. He shines up really nice. It doesn't work, but he shines up really nice. We've all had, we all grew up when action figures were there, right? Oh, that's so cool. I want to get that. And you get it, it's a piece of shit. But it looked good when you got it. Now you have it and you go, right, it's kind of there now. That's what the Cowboys are to Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
He would rather focus on the art museum that's in Texas than Cowboy Stadium than the actual team on the field. He would rather you look at the TV screen than look at the product on the field. He would rather you be distracted by all the bells and whistles than actually see the product that's on the field. That's who he has become. That's who he has become for a lot longer, for 28 years now? And like I saw on a Facebook post, Bryce, I think you saw it, Cuervo, you probably saw it too. Kudos to the Washington. They've suffered long enough. They've suffered longer than the Dallas Cowboys. Last time they won was before Dallas won their first one against the Bills. So, for them to, after bad ownership, after bad deals, after bad everything, and the only thing they've still screwed up is that I still miss the Redskin name. I get why you can't use it, but whatever. I mean, it was their identity for such a long time. But the team itself has grown beyond that. Dallas hasn't done that. Dallas can't do that right now because of the ownership in place. Like the Commanders could not do that with the ownership in their place until they removed him. But you're not going to remove a Hall of Famer. That's the problem. You're not going to remove Jerry Jones, the guy who brought in so much money to the NFL. Oh, by the way, because your team sucks, we're going to take your team away from you. You can't fire an owner like that. That's sad. It's sad you can't do it, but that's the NFL for you. By the way, if you're asking my picks, I'm picking the Eagles today.
Bryce in Brooklyn, who are you picking?
Eagles.
All right, so picking the Eagles. How about you, Cuervo?
Eagles. That's nothing else to say.
I think that's the only. Think that's really the only pick.
Listen, y'all ready for a chair shot?
Okay.
I want the Dallas Cowboys' last win of the year to be against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh,
just so I have that. Just so I have that.
Yeah. There it is. Every
Chair
show
shot.
since I met him, since I first met him, just comes right in. Chair shot right in the back of the head.
But you love me, you know you do.
It just I do. But I'm just
he just fits in so much.
That game disgusts me to no end. It makes I want to throw up right now on
Touchdown Giant.
Golly.
It's an incredible bad game, and you want to know why it's such a bad game? Because normally I think this would be a really good game if you had all the cogs in it. You got I don't even think CD Lamb is playing today, is he? I mean, he's hurt too. So you got everything going on.
But playing.
Oh, okay. But the problem is
to his shoulder.
Yeah, the problem is no Dak. You're not going to get Diggs. He's overrated. Marco Parsons coming off an injury. The Elliott situation is a complete disaster. Your offensive line is garbage. And, you're to deal with and it doesn't matter what Jerry Jones says because this team is checked out. Okay? Checked out. The Dallas Cowboys. And it won't matter, like Trey said, it won't matter because they'll still fill that stadium up today. They'll still fill up the stadium for the rest of the season, and Jerry gets that
60-40 Eagles
dinero.
60-40 Eagles fans.
Without question, I don't think Dallas Cowboys. Matter of fact, I saw there was something in the Dallas Morning News that the Dallas Cowboy season ticket holders got them all up for. A lot of them got them up for sale. They're just not even going to go for the rest of the season. They're just going to try to get some of their money back. That's how bad the situation is, and rightfully so. Finally, the Cowboy fans are not the insane nuts that they are. So all right.
But the bad thing is this. Sonny, bad thing is this. So all the seats are already taken care of, right? They're already bought and paid for. Jerry already got that kind of money. So who comes to the stadium? He don't care as long as the fans got a chance to see their team or whatever. Don't matter whose team it is, their team. Only they're Cowboy fans, as he would say. So, look, it's a cluster F of a season. We all knew this I knew this from week one. But and my question, I got a question to y'all three, and then they'll move on to other games. If you look at the Cowboys' schedule, and y'all might have to go look for yourself. Find me the only other 3 wins I say they're going to have.
Right. But without Dak Prescott,
Giants,
it's not
maybe
there.
Carolina. Maybe the Giants, maybe Carolina, and after that, I don't know. Because they got Houston, they got the Bengals, they got Washington twice, they got the Eagles twice. They got it's a crapshoot for them. So, like I said, their schedule is not going to be easy for them this year. When they did absolutely nothing in the offseason, you get what you get now. So,
all right.
This guy.
I wish your team. Now, when you want to go to the other side of the perspective of good team, bad team, game of the week. I know somebody can talk about the game of the week, okay, being something else. But let's be honest. That is the game. Washington and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, love the dog, by the way. This is the game of the week. And we got the guy who knows the Pittsburgh Steelers inside and out. Because he doesn't just have one. He doesn't just have 2. He usually has 3. Not 1, not 2, but 3 points of emphasis that we got to look at each and every game. And against, what's the name of the team today? Who are they playing today?
The Pittsburgh Steelers today will be playing the Washington Toy Soldiers.
The Toy Soldiers. All right, so
Soldiers.
I'm so interested in finding out
the 3 keys. There we go. There we go.
So let's talk about it. And so much so, I'm going to put him right there and then bring him right over.
Right,
there he is. Got to hear it. What's going on with the game today?
Okay. Before I get to my game, like I said, I got the Eagles. I guess we'll get to Cuervo's game after this, but big game. Best team they'll face so far this year. We didn't expect to say, well, I had the Commanders finishing second in this division.
You did.
I did. So they've exceeded so far my expectations. They've been playing really good football. Legit 7-2 team. This is a 5-star matchup because we're in it, as Coach likes to say. It's a 5-star matchup. So, I think this week is very interesting. Number one, the Steelers got to find a way to get a lead and play with a lead. The reason why I think that's important is because Cliff Kingsbury is doing some great things with that offense, pulling guys around, moving guys around, window dressing, shifts and motions. But I think if Pittsburgh can get the early double-digit lead, what you can do is you can hopefully make Cliff Kingsbury come out of his comfort zone and Kingsbury the game up, where his offense can become a little predictable, where the window dressing don't work as well. And you just see it's just a lot of basic college concepts that you can hone in on. But I think it's going to be important for Pittsburgh to get a lead. If they can find a way to get to 10, 13-3 early lead, 10-0 lead, 14-3 lead, and make this offense with this first-year coordinator for the Toy Soldiers and the first-year quarterback feel the pressure a little bit. Not comfortable. I think if they can do that, that really helps increase their chances to win. So that's number one. Number two, you got to run the football because the Toy Soldiers have Bobby Wagner, and they're a little bit better on defense, but they're not great on defense. And I think the Steelers can impose their will. You got Najee. We've talked about Najee. Jalen Warren off the bye, he's healthy, ready to go. You got Cordero Patterson, who I think even at 33 still has juice, adds value to that running back room. You got 3 backs that I think you got Russell Wilson that he's not a runner, but he can extend the play. So you got to be physical. You got to come off the ball. Zach Frazier, the rookie, second-round rookie center, back in the starting lineup. You're starting to get continuity there. Let's see if Roger Jones, after the bye week, can play better than he's been playing. But still a big guy, still can hit people. Come off and run the football. The best way to neutralize their offense outside of our defense is to run the football and keep them on the sideline. You can do that. You can control the game. That gives you a great chance to win. And then number 3, I think you got to contain Jaden Daniels because he's really balling out of control. You got to throw multiple looks at him, regardless of what you think about Cam Sutton and his legal charges. He is playing. He is active. He is a chess piece. They can move around. The Steelers need to get more varied in their coverages. They've been very static in the first 8 games. It's been we rush 4. We don't give up the big play. We get after people because we have TJ Watt, the best defender in football on the planet. So you have him. You can play to that strength. You're going to start playing some of these better quarterbacks now. You got to be able to even the ones that have seen everything, can you confuse enough to let the rush get home? Can you give yourself an extra second to where they're indecisive and maybe a DB can get a hand on the ball, pick something off? You got to change this up a little bit. So those are my 3 keys. I think if you do that, you can maybe pressure Jaden a little bit. He can escape. So you got to keep him contained in the pocket. This is going to be a game of attrition because the toy soldiers do play hard. Dan Quinn's got them playing very hard for the team. Dan Quinn has done a good job so far. He's a Super Bowl coach. I mean, he's been to a Super Bowl. Yeah. I think you got, I think with Tomlin, I think you have Russell Wilson, who's playing very competently in this offense, coming off of a bye week, veteran experience, been to a Super Bowl. The toy soldier defense, it is, it's okay, but I think it can be exploited. And the Steeler defense is a legit defense. Best defense in the AFC North. So having said that, also, special teams. Pittsburgh has activated Tyler Medikevich, Ben Slomnick, I hope I'm pronouncing his name, Gunners, special teams depth, guys that have had success in the NFL, tackling guys on special teams, containing kicks. You got Chris Boswell, best kicker in the league. The Steelers are built to beat you playing complementary football. Remember I said this, because they now have a larger margin of error by adding Mike Williams to the mix, by adding Preston Smith. Love that pickup to the edge in terms of defensive line, a guy who can play both the edge and defensive lineman. Love that they got him. Versatile piece. You're getting Cam back. You got good punting by Corliss Waitman, who stepped in and done a great job. The Steelers have increased their margin of error, where they don't have to play perfect in order to win. They just have to play well enough to beat you. And I feel that's enough to beat the toy soldiers who have not played a team like Pittsburgh yet this year. Pittsburgh is going to get this win today. I'm going in on my Steelers.
Man, you just stole my thunder right at the end. They haven't really, granted, they play in the NFC East and they're going to, play those. But really, they haven't really played a lot of good. But here's the difference compared to the Dallas Cowboys of a couple of years ago when they were winning games, and they weren't playing anybody. Well, before that, Washington wasn't doing it. And yes, I know, I get it. Santa trap. Anyway, that being said, but here's what I hope for the Commanders, okay? That they don't buy into what people are talking about, okay? And when you got one of the greats to ever play the game saying that you are a top 5 team in the NFL, it could very easily go to your head. Now, that having been said, of course, that's the name of the show. The Dallas. I want to just pop back really quick to what happened last year. At the end of the year, this team needed to fire Mike McCarthy and put Dan Quinn as the head coach of this football team. This is where Jerry made the mistake. And it's obvious. Look what he has done with Washington, which was, let's be honest, was a piece of crap football team. They weren't playing good. Now they're 7-2. Regardless of who they're playing, you wouldn't even expected that from a Washington Commanders football team going into the season in reality, regardless of the rookie quarterback and all that other crap. Okay. So I'm going to put it to Cuervo. Was this the mistake the Dallas Cowboys made, not taking Dan Quinn, putting him at the head coach, position, and obviously it was the right hire for the Washington Commanders. Cuervo.
Yeah, so what I would say is it was the right hire for Washington, and hindsight's 2020, Sonny. So we could sit here now today and say, "Oh, they should have promoted Dan Quinn to head coach." But when you go back and you think about why they didn't do it, there were still questions of would he be able to get the job done the second time as a head coach, because we saw how things ended in Atlanta and how obviously 28-3, that's always going to stand out. He's always going to be remembered for that. Blowing a Super Bowl up 25 points. And so, and you can't put 100% the blame on him, but he was the head coach of that team at the time. So, so it's kind of like you just didn't know if he was going to be able to do it. But now looking back, that maybe Dallas should have kept him.
Hindsight's always 2020. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So now that being said, Washington, I thought, really gave a good opportunity for Dan Quinn, just because you got a new quarterback coming in. They had the number 2 pick. Everybody knew they were going to draft one. So, and then from there, he's the one that decided to offer Cliff Kingsbury the OC job after he dashed away from the Raiders in the middle of the night. And now you have what you have, and you see what you see with Washington. So like I said, I mean, I think Quinn made the better choice, leaving Dallas, going to Washington, trying to get a fresh start with another team. So
yeah,
that's what I believe.
They should have went to Dan Quinn 2 years ago. But go ahead there, Podfather.
Let me ask you a question, and I get where you're trying to go with this, but so are we under the impression that the Dallas Cowboys are 3-5 because of Mike McCarthy?
I think their record shows who they are
because I asked
bad decisions from the top.
Right. Well, because let me ask you this: let's say they bring in Dan Quinn as head coach. Do they still not make any moves in the offseason? Do they still pay Dak Prescott, $60 million a year? I mean, is Micah Parsons only still going to have 1 sack from week 1? I mean, no one knows that, right? But
right.
All I know is that, first of all, Dan Quinn probably wanted to go back out east anyway because he loved Atlanta. And probably then that may have been more of a wife thing. Hey, I want to go back out to the East Coast. I'm not so much happy being down here. For all I know, I don't know. But the thing is that Washington's management, and I mean, they were doing stuff in the offseason. They were making moves. They were trying to better their team. So even with the head coach, everything has worked in place. Will it work today? I'm going to agree with Bryce on this. Okay. I think the Commanders are the Houston Texans of this year. Okay,
that's a good point.
We didn't see them coming. They're blowing all our doors off. They didn't win every game though, and the games where they probably could win, they'll win. But some games where they probably could lose, they'll probably lose. This is a game they're going to lose because I do think the Steelers are a better team that has been more put together. Now, it'll be a close one. I think it'll be a little bit closer than everybody's going to want it to be because no one ever thinks, Commanders and Steelers, what a battle. But it'll be a battle today for sure. But as far as Dan Quinn for the Cowboys, would I love to have seen it? Sure. But what would have come with that? Would the owner have still not done a damn thing to make the team better? That's the biggest question of all.
I was a big 2 years ago getting rid of Mike McCarthy and bringing in Dan Quinn, by the way, just to let you know. Cuervo, what's your take on the game today? Who you got? What's your pick?
So here we go.
Here we are. Bryce's Pittsburgh Steelers coming in to Washington. Oh, give me a second, guys. Good morning.
He's being noisy.
Cuervo, let me first say,
who is that? Look how sweet he is.
Oh, wow. I respect that very measured analysis.
He's leaving it up to the bird.
Oh man,
He's showing his ass.
that bird is cool.
Yeah, that's blue.
Well,
Guess
the
it's
bird is showing his
baby.
ass, so it's hard to say.
Yeah,
Yes.
but all right. So for me, I'm not going to
We're
give you
looking
three
pirate.
keys. I'm not going to give you three keys for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I'm gonna reemphasize one that Bryce brought up because I think that's going to be what gets the Steelers the victory today, and that's running the football. Because I think about 2 weeks ago when the Bears were in Washington, and the offense was just looking like Pee Wee League, right? But then once they started running the ball with DeAndre Swift and they got Roshan Johnson a couple of carries, that's when the offense started picking up. The long run by Swift got them their first points on the board, and then they were able to get the lead with that goal line run with Johnson. So I think if Pittsburgh just continues, if they could just play a ground and pound type game with Warren and Najee Harris, I think you guys are going to have your way with the Commanders defense. That's what I think. And the other thing too, I think when Bryce says they haven't played a team like the Steelers yet so far, I think he's right. In a sense of how healthy they are, and let me I gotta give a shout out to the Steelers. Listen, anytime a team can make the Green Bay Packers weaker as a team, that brings a smile to my face. So thank you guys for going out there, trading, getting Preston Smith. That was a great acquisition. Makes the defense of the Packers a little weaker, so I'm happy about that. But I think he's going to be a good fit for you guys too. He plays a Steeler type, as a defender. He's got Steelers written on him, man. I mean, the guy plays with a high motor. He's a guy that'll create turnovers, and so that's what you want when you get Steeler football. That's what you're getting. You're getting guys that play till the whistle blows and they make turnovers happen. So I think he's going to be a good fit for you guys. But I just want to see, since the Bears weren't able to get it done, I want the Steelers. My fingers are crossed that they will show this Cliff Kingsbury offense for what it truly is, and it's a very dumbed down, and that's not an insult to Jaden Daniels. I just think it's not as complex of an offense, so it's easy to run. A lot of quarterbacks can do it, so I just think they've gotten away with it because, listen, the Commanders have not played a great schedule either. They've played a lot of teams that have weak defenses, and so look at a team like Chicago. They held them to field goals the whole game until that ridiculous Hail Mary at the end. Jaden Daniels wasn't doing a whole lot. He was getting yards, yes, but what did they get held to? 4 field goals up until the very last play of the game. So I expect the Steelers to do a lot of the same. I think they're gonna shut down a lot of their drives. And this game is in catch-up field.
No, this game is in Washington.
They're on the road.
Yeah,
in
Washington. So
on the road.
Oh, that's right, because I think I saw Sonny put that they're going to be giving
the
away
post-service stadium, right?
Commander's version of terrible towels. So
cheap imitations, baby. The only thing.
Oh no, not like the real thing, Bryce. Don't get me wrong. It ain't a threat. I wouldn't even look at it seriously. But I like the Steelers. I just want that offense to be exposed for what it truly is, so that way everybody can stop thinking that Jaden Daniels is already Patrick Mahomes. Like, let's calm down.
Good. He's really good.
He's good.
He's been good.
He's good, but he's not great. But at least in this case, I see the potential, sort of like the Houston quarterback. Same stuff in my mind. I've been kind of backed around here, but you see the potential in a rookie quarterback and what he can possibly do. The problem is when most rookies get into the lineup, they are lost. because of the speed of the game. I'm telling you right now, I know it sounds simplistic, but that is one of the biggest reasons why you see rookie quarterbacks have a hard time in the NFL. Okay, is the understanding of the speed of the game is so much different than when in college. And once they pick that up, if they're capable, you see it around midseason. Look what Daniels is doing. Heck, even to the Bears' credit, look what Williams is doing. He's picking up on the speed of the game and playing, somewhat well. So not fantastic, but somewhat well. But Jane Daniels also has a lot of other cogs that are involved with it. But as Bryce would not have just one, not two, but 3 points of emphasis, I have one. Run away from TJ Watt. Don't roll his way, roll away and break that guy's leg just for the game. It's so where he cannot make a play on your quarterback. If they stop TJ Watt, they win the football game. I hate to make it as simple as that, because when I make it simple like that, it means you're controlling the line. You're controlling the defensive line. If you stop TJ Watt, if you stop him, you win this football game. Problem is, I don't see how they're going to do it, because Watts has a way of getting to the quarterback, not with just one-on-one. He doubles up. You triple it, and this guy figures out a way to get to the quarterback. So I'm all over the terrible towel of Bryce's Pittsburgh Steelers. So that being said, how much longer I got you, Bryce? Because we're going to go to the Bear game.
I can give my analysis on the Bear game, and then I got to head out.
Do it. Bears are in action today. And they're in Chicago playing against New England. This is probably the most interesting game. And I got a couple reasons why. Cuervo is listening. I know he's listening. So go ahead there, Bryce.
Well, before I get to that, I did want to say, you put the hat on. I love it. Look, when I look the Steelers, the first half of the season, it's not like the Jets and Giants aren't great teams, but there are units on those teams. The Giant defense got some players. Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence is a you want to talk about a TJ Watt level impact. Dexter Lawrence is one of the best defensive players in football. That guy was a load. I love what our 4th-string centers, how he's been playing. McCullum's been playing hard. He's been getting after people. There were a couple times in that game. I don't know if you guys watched that game. He got reverse pancaked at least 2 or 3 times. I mean, that dude is a load in the middle. We know the Jets play defense. The Broncos have shown that they can play defense well. The Chargers will play defense. So Pittsburgh has played really good defenses in this first half. Now it shifts. Some of these other defenses, they're going to play not as great, but they're going to see some quarterbacks. They're going to see offenses that are going to stress them. But this defense hopefully is built for that, because you still got Minkah Fitzpatrick there. I've said it before. Minkah Fitzpatrick is the closest thing to Ed Reed I've seen playing in football. He's not Ed Reed, but he's the closest. And TJ Watt is the closest thing to Lawrence Taylor we have playing in football, the closest. Those guys, I think, then are ready to step up and can make plays and can match other offenses. So we'll see how that goes. But that's part of the reason why I got the Commanders. I have the Steelers winning this game. So we're off that. Before I leave, let's get to the Bears and the Patriots, a Super Bowl rematch from 85.
Yeah, from 85.
Cuervo, let me tell you something. I'm not even going to have a lot of analysis on this. I'm picking your Bears because this is a must-win game. If your Bears lose this game, I do believe – look, the Bears are not an organization, I think, that fire a coach midseason, but you lose this game, and you have to wonder, is Eberflus going to totally lose the team? I think that's what you have to think about. Is there's some wavering there. If you lose to the Patriots, I kind of believe there's going to be a big drop-off in the belief in him from even as fragile as it was. to what it will become if you lose this game. You guys got to find, anyway, come hell or high water, you got to find a way to win. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you run it 50 times, you're injured, and you're at home. I don't care if you got to run it 50 times, throw it 50 times. I know we've had questions about the identity. You just got to figure out a way. Special teams got to return 2 kicks. I don't care. You cannot lose to the New England Patriots. Now, Jared Mayo's going to have his team playing hard. Defensive guy, hard-nosed guy. I don't care. You got to find a way to win. If the Bears are the better team, you got to get it done. Because if you don't, Cuervo, I believe your season might be over if you lose this game.
I think you're right, Bryce. I think it's going to come down to if the Bears lose today. I think what's going to really be in the microscope of everyone is how they lost the game, because I can almost guarantee you if they lose, it's going to be because of something stupid Matt Eberflus does, because he can't manage very well. It's like, dude, take a timeout every now and then. You don't get to save those into the next game or in the next half. The guy, it seems like he's afraid to use timeout. I can't tell you how many times this team has gone into the half or end a game with at least 2 timeouts left in the game. Like, man, like that was the biggest thing about that Hail Mary pass. He actually went to the media and said we didn't need to take a timeout at that point.
Oh,
You see Stevenson hanging out with the boys in the corner, and you're not going to take a timeout? Are you? Even I know to take timeout. Trey knows to take a timeout. Bryce knows. Sonny knows. Obi knows. My wife knows. Take a timeout before a Hail Mary play happens. My God. So then, what happened in Arizona happened. Whatever. Let's go to today. If they lose today because of whether a timeout wasn't called in a situation that it should have been called, whether Shane Waldron decides, hey, I think I'm going to, use Caleb Williams as a wide receiver on this play, and, they don't convert a third or fourth down or something like that, it's going to be something dumb that he decides to roll with and then blame it on execution, because he does that a lot.
Yeah.
I think losing today is going to be the warning, the official warning for Matt Eberflus. And the reason I only say it's going to be a warning, because guess what happens next week, gentlemen? Green Bay comes to town. And if you go out there and you embarrass yourself at home against Green Bay, that's it. That he is done. He's done. He needs to be done. Whether they do it, 5 minutes after the game is over or at the end of the season, you absolutely, under no circumstance, can bring that guy back, because he proves that he can't manage the game in situations, and they lose to bad teams like they did Washington and Arizona. Yes, I just said it. Washington, I don't think is very good. Even though they're 7-2, I don't think they're that great of a team. But anyways, you lose today, the Patriots, and then you get embarrassed on your home field against the team that we hate the most in Chicago. I don't care if they run the table the rest of the season, guys. You don't bring him back. Period. Now, that being said,
That's the name of the show.
Bears are 6-point favorite today, guys. I'm going to roll with the Bears, but I'm going to take the Patriots +6 because I think it's going to be a close game. If I'm a betting man, Patriots will cover the 6.
Bryce, who do you think you win? I'll let you out, and then we'll go to the Podfather. Unless you want me to bring Podfather in first?
Go ahead, Podfather.
Let's see here. Bryce, did you say that this was a Super Bowl rematch?
Yeah, from 85.
Yeah, from 40 years ago.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, I had to go back way back. I had to go back. I'm like, they played the Colts still, said boy. But yeah, it's been a minute. These are two different teams from the 85 team, just for damn sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, look, I got the Bears. I got the Bears winning today. No, I got the Bears winning today. Again, I have no faith in the Patriots right now. Patriots are kind of like the kind of like the Carolina Panthers to me right now. They might sneak up and get a win on you, but don't expect much from them. That's just because they don't have their
They're beating the
complete team
Giants
there
right
yet.
now.
So again, look who they're playing. But the team is just about as bad as the Cowboys. So yeah, I don't really have much else for it. Look, my only issue with the Bears with Caleb Williams is that I don't think he sees the field completely yet. I think that's a rookie thing. A lot of rookies don't see all the field. They're too busy focusing on that one guy, and that's going to be his downfall for this year. Next year, he'll get in the idea of reading defenses better. I think it's just a growing process. He won't do it with your head coach. You need to have another head coach in there to do that for him, though, because I don't think the current situation, he couldn't make Justin Fields any better than what he already was. So I don't think he's going to do the same for Caleb Williams. But I do think the Bears win today because they need to win today because come next week when they play the Packers, that's going to be a whole different ballgame. So they better at least go on this momentum because if they lose today, you can forget about next week's game completely because they're going to be on such a low at that point. Look who they lost to. Look who they're playing kind of thing. That works more wonders in the locker room than anything else. More than any stats or anything else. That one, we lost to this team. How did we do that? Now we got to play this team that's in our division. How are we going to do that?
Well, there's already 2 games like that this year.
That's true, but sometimes that's all it takes to ruin a team. That's all it takes to ruin a team. So Bears win today, and I think it'll help set the stage for a better next week for them.
Bryce from Brooklyn.
Yeah, again, I'm going with the Bears. The Bears, they're at home. The Patriots play hard. You got 2 teams. You got the Patriots play hard. Gerard Mayo. You got a first-year head coach, rookie quarterback. I mean, come on, Bears. Like this is like get to like even with the team questioning the coach, even with the Hail Mary, you got a chance to be 5-4 and have a winning record going into the end of the season, and you see what happens. You want to play for you ride for your coach, believe in him, go win this game, save his job, and then the players go make a case that no, Eberflus, we believe in this plan, and he's the guy. I don't like to bring seasons down to just one game, but my goodness, Cuervo, they got to win this one for this season.
But it tells you win this one.
Because if you don't win this one, if you can't beat them, if you can't win this game at home with these circumstances, then who can you really compete with down the stretch?
Oh, well, listen. That's why this game is so important, And Trey kind of hit on it. There's 2 games that the Bears, I don't like using the word should have, but they were supposed to win those games.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Commanders game and back in week 3 against Indianapolis. That game was to be had. They should have won that game. They should have won that. Right now, the Bears should be 6-2. Yeah, it is a woulda, coulda, shoulda situation. You're right. I mean, I can talk about it all day, but you can go to 5-4, but then that's when the real season starts next week. Full disclosure, listen, if the Bears win today, I'll be happy about it. But is it going to excite me? No, it's not. Because they've shown me, we can beat up on less talented teams. I'm not going to say weaker because, listen, NFL players are NFL players. They're the best of the best. But less talented teams, yeah, the Bears are good at beating those guys. Hey, great. Good for you. Golf clap. But let's see what you really got starting next week when the real season starts and it's the first division game. Believe it or not, it's going to be the first division game that the Bears play next week. They have not played a division game yet.
I've lost all confidence in the coaching in the Chicago Bears. He's lost the locker room. It's all done. And I prefaced that whole thing when we were talking about that, when you're talking about the Bears. When you lose the locker room, you can't get – this is what's going to happen.
Here comes the real chair shot, guys. Go ahead, Sonny.
they won't be able to get up for this game because they don't have trust in their people who lead them. It happens every year. You can find a team where the coaching staff is lost. It's not. It's not like the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys players have given up. Okay, outside of the coaching, you got a double whammy. You got the coaching that's lost it, and the guys aren't winning. It's different in Chicago. The guys want to win, but they've lost the locker room as far as coaching, directing, discipline, everything that you need to win week in and week out. They don't have it. And this game right here is the prefaces of them losing in Green Bay and being an interim coach, which, by the way, is, I don't know if it's a stupid idea or not, because if you're not going to get your guy that you want to go into next year for this football team, I think that's stupid. You find the guy that you want for next year to build it, to get it ready. The last 8 games, they suck, but let's just put it together, and then you're ready for next year. But if you're just going to go interim, what's the use in reality for the Chicago Bears? Okay, you got to get the guy in there so he can get that locker room back. Right now, he doesn't. And that's the reason why they lose this football game, because the players on the other side will play for that coach. I'm telling you right now, they're not a better football team. Let's be honest. But I think the condition of the team, where they're at right now, I don't think they can beat anybody. Never mind the Patriots.
So Sonny, who you going with for this game?
I'm going with the Patriots. I'm on the Patriots today.
Oh wow, Cuervo.
What I say? There's the chair shot. Yep.
Lariat City.
Well,
listen, but you know what, guys? Somehow, some way, how do I get this feeling that Sonny could be right?
I mean,
what are we going to say?
Because it was great analysis, and you're going to go change your pick before the game.
No, I mean, Cuervo, a lot of the points he brought up, not wrong. Listen, before I go, there are 2 teams that should hire Bill Belichick. And sorry, Podfather, the Cowboys are not one of them, because he'll never work with your buffoonish owner. So that's a lost cause.
No, that's true.
The Chicago Bears, 3 teams. The Chicago Bears, the Jacksonville Jaguars. And get this, if it goes south, I don't think they should fire their coach, but if they did, here's where he should go, and it would make me sick to my stomach. The Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was coming.
Bengals were number 1 for me.
I was smart. If I'm going to let Zach Taylor go, which on record, actually, I wouldn't. Because if you really look, Super Bowl, when he got Joe Burrow, he's been to a Super Bowl, AFC Championship game, and then when Burrow got hurt, he got his team to 9-8. That was his best season last year. If you really want to talk coaching,
that was terrible. Crazy knucklehead, terrible.
But if you bring a guy in, I actually would bring Bill Belichick into Cincinnati. That would be a great fit, and it would make me sick to my stomach. But I got to go, guys. But I just wanted to drop that.
Hasta luego. Always good to see. And before you leave, thank you for keeping it real right here.
Love the show. Love what we do, man. We have so much fun. Enjoy Sunday, because you know I will.
You got it.
Show them Commanders what they really are.
Always good to see. Yeah. So, that being said, all right. So, Podfather, you hop in right there because we were trying to get him out. What was where you were headed there? Because you had your finger up.
That's a chair shot from you.
Well, that's
I'm pissed. I'm so upset. I never got to actually hit you with a chair once. It was fun just one time, just so you know what a chair shot actually felt like.
We should have done it. That's one thing we should have done. Out of everything that we've done in the wrestling business,
but the thing is,
that's one thing we should have done.
Today, you'd be bitching today about how bad it still hurt because it's
like I might.
Real.
So, all right. That being said, of course, that's the name of the show. We are 1 hour. We really only covered 2 games because we did a lot of talking about some of them. So we'll move a little bit quicker into the rest of this game. So, but
we covered the Cowboys, we covered the Steelers, we covered the Bears.
Yeah, and who did everybody? I had Carolina on the game. Who did everybody have in the Carolina Giant game?
I had the Giants.
You had the Giants. What about you, Cuervo? Where were you at?
I took the Giants as well. They just scored, by the way. So now we're looking at a 17-14 game.
Ah, wonderful. 17-14 game. Making it close, of course, at the end, because I'm on Carolina Panthers. Yeah, I really had no clue who to pick in this game. So I just looked and pointed and pushed the button. The one that was on the left-hand side favorite. So I think so. Yeah. So
you should have flipped the coin.
I should have. Maybe I should have. So, but that's it. All right. So, let me ask Cuervo this. Cuervo, should we take a break? Do you need a break, or do we want to hop into this?
I'm a little low on coffee. I don't know about you. Well, I saw you were just making another cup right now, but
yeah. Well, I brought in.
He has it right next to him. Yeah.
Yeah, I got him. But you need.
Or maybe I need to do that.
Yeah. It's.
Hey, Cuervo. That chair he's sitting in is a toilet. So while he drinks the coffee,
that's even better.
While he's doing the show.
That's back behind that door. So
yeah, sure it is.
So, yeah, so that's kind of about where that is. But, anyway, all right. So what I think we'll do is we're going to take a quick break here. Okay, we'll take about 5 minutes. I'll get Annie on too. I've got the video. I just got to upload it, but we got some commercials that we got to get through. So let's do that. Let's take the quick break, and when we come back, we'll rock it through the last hour of this, and we'll cover all the games here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. We'll be right back.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Big Wireless has once again raised their prices. In response, we're bringing back our deflation promotion. The marketing department asked me to be as explicit as possible when explaining it. So here we go. Because we don't love f***ing our customers over like Big Wireless. We're bringing back our offer for f***ing unlimited premium wireless for only $15 a month. F*** me to the moon and back. That's a great f***ing deal. Explicit enough marketing f***s?
Rich's Performance Muffler and Auto Care has provided complete auto repair services to the Wiley area since 2003. Whether it's alignments, brakes, air conditioning, muffler service, suspension, front-end auto services, or in my case, a Cadillac converter, Rich does it all. Stop by and see him at 603 Commerce Street, Suite 203 in Wiley, or give him a call at 972-461-0776. That's 972-461-0776. You'll be happy you called Rich instead of anybody else.
This is Sonny Clark, radio voice of your Rowlett Eagles, letting you know about Landon Huey and 19 Ministries.
One of the things we want to do is we have this idea, the name that's kind of sticking right now is Rowlett Revival. And we know that there are a lot of hurting and broken people across the city. Out of a population of 60,000, there's close to 40,000 that aren't saved. And we want to do like a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday where we'll bring in a guest speaker, and he's just going to share the love of Christ. And we want to connect people in the city up with churches, and where they can find a healthy church family and find people that believe in them and find a God that loves them. Jesus came for a broken world, and man, he loves and cares for everybody in the city. And so we're excited about that. We're working through details right now, but our vision is to see God's going to reach a lot of people.
So make sure you contact Landon Huey at 19 Ministries at 972-835-8665, or check them out on the web at 19ministries.org or uniterowlett.org.
Let Buffalo Creek Doors and Floors help you restore your home to its like-new condition. Need a contractor? Let us be your first stop as well as your last. We specialize in everything that others don't, such as stained concrete floors, wood spot repairs on doors and floors, stainless steel spot repairs, anti-slip on floors, and more. Want to see what kind of work we do? Check out our Facebook page and you can see the craftsmanship you'll receive and expect from Buffalo Creek Doors and Floors.
Give Rodney James a call at 214-536-2607. That's 214-536-2607. Or check him out on the web at www.buffalocreekdoorsandfloors.com.
You are still undecided, I would vote for Dennis Allen. No one is more qualified to talk about unemployment. Okay, before we get started, a couple things to go over. The Panthers traded Deontay Johnson to the Ravens for a Bojangles combo meal. I guess Bryce Young didn't need help after all. In our defense, he can't see his receivers half the time anyway, so he didn't even know. Also, I'm passing around a petition to cancel daylight savings. We do not need it getting dark at 4 p.m. If I wanted to watch a son contribute that little, I'd watch Bronny James play. Jets-Texans, let's start with your game. Malachi Corley dropped the ball before crossing the goal line. That is now the second time this week a New York player didn't cover all their bases. Those back-to-back holding calls were terrible. Jordan Poyer is a double agent. It's not my fault. He was on your sideline. Don't start with me, okay? You know how many times you just shut up? Mike McDaniel is now 1-6 against the Bills. The last time the Dolphins beat the Bills, Tua hadn't even heard of a CAT scan. Ravens-Broncos, get in here, please. History was made for the Ravens this weekend. Derrick Henry's 100th career rushing touchdown. No, Harbaugh actually won a challenge. Your pass defense sucks. You let Cortland Sutton throw a pass to Bo Nix, and that was already better than any throw Derek Carr's ever made. It is not that bad. You got mossed by that. Giants-Commanders, get in here, please. At the half, Daniel Jones was 4 for 6, had 0 passing yards and 1 touchdown. He finally scored another passing touchdown. Ben Affleck and J-Lo got married and divorced between Daniel Jones' 2 most recent touchdown passes. So Jameis Winston didn't work out. Who could have seen that coming? He should give his motivational speeches to the other team since he throws to them so often. We have fired Luke Getsy. Why did you hire Luke Getsy? Cliff Kingsbury wasn't available? This is the 4th time in the past 5 years the Raiders have switched offensive coordinators or head coaches in the middle of the season. But we beat the Chiefs on Christmas. Luke, do you have something you've written out you'd like to say? The Raiders have fired me. Is that it? I only scripted up the first couple seconds. Get out! This is the worst coach Raiders team, and they had Josh McDaniels. All right, we have to do it. Saints-Panthers. Congratulations, Carolina. That was a bigger booster for Bryce Young than the one he sits in a car. New Orleans, Derek Carr has now gotten Dennis Allen fired twice. You know, sometimes you gotta pop out and show him. He's the first NFL quarterback to lose to 31 different teams. This was not all his fault. St. Peter lied to Jesus, and even he was better for the Saints. Michael Thomas will be the Saints' interim head coach, since he already spent so much time on the Saints sideline. All right, moving on. Let's do Bears-Cardinals. Hale got in the end zone of a dome in the desert before the Bears did. Speaking of weather, be careful out there. People start driving like idiots. They are worse on the road than Matt Eberflus. Matt is now 0-18 on the road on Sundays. I've seen Chick-fil-A workers work harder on Sunday. Yeah, but what's his record after his new haircut? Get him in here. This is what the score is, but at least we have each other. Will you start targeting Cole Kmet, the long snapper? Okay. Drake May is doing it all on his own. He scripted that entire touchdown pass himself. That might be the first time Drake has scripted anything by himself. Can we talk about the Cowboys now? Okay, sure. Dallas is falling apart. 36% of their salary cap is currently getting an MRI. Dallas, will you start running it up the middle? You ran a jet sweep to CeeDee Lamb on 4th and 1. In our defense, he was the only one that showed up to the meetings. So the Cowboys abandon the run quicker than Mike McCarthy when he sees a treadmill. Philly, while you're here, let's talk about your game. Watching Nick Sirianni and Doug Peterson felt like watching 2 idiots play checkers with a chessboard. Get him in here. Look, think of going for 2 as an investment, okay? Didn't you lose a bunch of money on that other investment? You know what? When the deposed king of Nigeria emails you directly for help, you help. All right, just a couple more games. The Lions officially traded for Zadarius Smith. What? I would catch you up to speed, but you can't catch anything. Brian Branch threw up more birds than you threw up touchdown passes. Aaron Glenn was blind half the game, and you still couldn't score on his defense. I would be yawning too if I had to watch your game. Lastly, the Chiefs won again because the Bucs didn't go for 2. I would have gone for 2. Nick! Jason, did you have something you wanted to say? In a heated moment, I decided to greet hate with hate. I fell short this week. And that's a drive into deep left field by Nick Castellano. I'm not sure why we're having Jason Kelsey apologize for the broken phone. The kid went to Penn State. He's used to things collapsing under pressure.
Hi, Mr. Knowles. My name is Kat, and I have a question. And before I state my question, I just want to honor that we are all standing on the land of...
and reach your highest goals. Having developed and trained over 100 Division I athletes as well as Division II athletes, even professional athletes, the Bullet team definitely has the knowledge and mindset to take you to the next level. Check out our new 22,000 square foot facility and 3,000 square foot weight room, along with 4,500 square feet of outdoor turf and covered training area, along with football and soccer field. Contact Melvin Bullitt at 214-326-7853 or visit the facility just outside of Waterview at 8900 Princeton Road in Rowlett.
Can you hear me? There we go. All right, cool. All right, very good.
I hear you. Okay.
I
two things.
Okay.
Two things. The Cleveland Browns, the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
What would they say? Chick-fil-A workers work harder on Sunday than they do. And then on the Dallas Cowboys, 36% of their 36% of their payrolls are getting an MRI right now.
Yeah, I said that. By the way, that was one of her better ones. By the way,
Oh my God, that was funny.
I was laughing through the whole damn thing. It was that good. So that's where
really
we're
quick.
at. But
She's really quick on putting those together. So like you catch them in bite sizes, but yeah, she's really good about that.
yes, and by the way, just having just the way that she does things, it's just incredible. So, but that being said, of course, that's the name of this show. The games the game that's going on right now, I'm there we go, and I have to hit this button to get the score of the game right now. Is still 17-14 with 4:45 left to go in the fourth quarter. Carolina is on top at the moment. So but we all know how they can Carolina can piss a game away, so it's not over yet until it's over. Although the Carolina Panthers have been, really kind of running roughshod over them in reality on where they are. So that's huge. So what game do we want to go to as far as that's concerned, or you just want me to you want to knock it out and run into
Knock it out.
All right, Buffalo and Indianapolis. We'll get Cuervo back in here. We'll get his pick. Buffalo and Indianapolis. This is going to be a good football game. Well, maybe not. I don't know. What's your take upon what you think you're going to see? Because I think I know what I'm going to see.
I'm going to check my pick here, make sure I have it right. Bear with me. Be with you in a second, boss. Okay, here we go. Now, I don't think it'll be close. I think the Bills will beat them.
I think the Bills are coming.
I think the Bills. I think the Bills are almost becoming the front runner for who's going to be going against the Chiefs. And I mean, because the Ravens are doomed to fall apart. And I hate to say, because they were my pick early in the year, but I think they're doomed to fall apart because they're not quite the complete team that I thought they'd be. But the Bills, though, they're showing that they know they have an uphill battle playing against a team like the Chiefs. They know they got an uphill battle to stay in the conversation. And that's the thing. They're trying to stay in the conversation. Can't say the Ravens are, but I can say the Bills are. And I think the Colts are – they're a little snake bit right now. They might reel off a few wins, but, they still don't have what they want to have quarterback-wise. They still don't have what they want to have offensive line-wise, and that's what's killing the running back right now. So, yeah, give me the Bills.
Yeah, and Joe Flacco is the one that's starting. I like, believe it or not, I like their chances more with Joe Flacco on winning this football game than Richardson. Just more in the fact of what we're seeing right now with how the Bills are progressing through the season right now. I think they're just that far ahead of them. But if you're gonna be able to beat them, you have to have somebody somewhat experienced in there. Say whatever you want about Joe Flacco, the guy can win football games, and he's more experienced than Richardson. So I think that's where they're at. No, he's fine. Don't worry about him. I like hearing from him. He just said the Bills too, right?
Paul, you get over for the Bills? Don't be a pussy.
Yeah, tails wagging. Yeah, sorry for the Bills, but I just and all around, I'm not sold on Indianapolis's defense either. To stop.
Right.
In reality, to stop anybody, but never mind Josh Allen. Now, you can sit and argue about whether or not Josh Allen is the next big thing. You can still argue that point because he has, moments of where he'll just forget about. No, he's fine. He's not bothering me. I don't know. Maybe he's bothering you, but he's not bothering me.
Listen, I'll tell you what. Let me go to my mask real quick. Is Josh Allen the right guy? No? Okay. He says no.
He says no. What do you think? Is Josh? Are you going to agree with the dog?
I think he's getting better. I'll give credit where credit's due. He's getting better. I mean, we had the conversation, who's going to be the better quarterback that comes out of that, him or the Chargers quarterback, who I can't remember what his name is now, tells you what I think about him.
Justin Herbert. You got the Sonny effect.
Yeah, so I mean, I think Josh Allen has already won that battle. The thing is, they got to win playoff games. They got to win. They got to go to the dance. And until they do that, then that's what they're being measured by. Now, it'll be weird if the Chargers actually go there, and which they've only been once, so, good luck with that. But the Bills, I mean, hey, look, there was a 30 for 30 thing done on the Bills about the 90s Bills, and it made me feel so sorry for them because, my team beat them twice. They went there 4 times in a row and couldn't close the deal. Yep. And it was such a bad thing for me. I mean, it lifted Buffalo up so much because no one thinks highly of Buffalo at all. The only time Buffalo was ever relevant was when O.J. Simpson was their running back. So for them to come out of that and all of a sudden be the team to watch in the AFC, that was something back then. They want to be that now. I don't blame them because they made a lot of right moves. They made a lot of right moves, and to get the team in place they want to have, but they got to get there. Just because you put all the pieces in place, you still got to complete the puzzle. The Ravens, they're struggling with that. Dallas can't even start the damn puzzle, so I can't even talk about them. So I mean, as far as and let's face it, the Chiefs, I mean, they got it all. They got offense, defense, referee, and they got it all. So I mean, they're still the darlings, and that's why every team has got to be measured up to them in the AFC just to even get in the conversation.
Yeah,
I said it. You heard me.
So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Bills. I think they're just the better team all around. To even but hey, Joe Flacco, say whatever you want about it. He might have an opportunity where he gets his team in position. Maybe close game. I don't know. I don't think it should be that close, though. They should be able to kind of walk them a little bit by at least a touchdown. So I'm going to go with Buffalo on that.
It dawned on me. You like quarterbacks with simple names, don't you? Ryan. Yeah, Joe. I mean, just simple names. Guys like Colin or I don't know, Tua. Guys like that, you're like, no. I don't want to difficult names with my quarterback. No, I can't deal with that kind of.
He's not real. He's not real. I get it. So, all right. Well, and we'll get Cuervo's pick when he comes back. He's probably talking with the wife really quick before he gets back.
Hey, he has to go and collect the wife's pick first. Okay, that's important.
Hey, sometimes you gotta have priorities in life, and I get it. So,
what are priorities? I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. Kansas City and Denver. You already know who I'm picking. I'm not picking Kansas City to lose ever this year. So we already know who Sonny's picking. As long as Patrick Mahomes is in the lineup. So he's in the lineup.
Look, it's going to take a miracle for Denver to get the W over the Chiefs. And miracles can happen. Don't get me wrong. They can happen. But you got to have the right side of the referees here to have that work for them. Because right now, I'm not saying the NFL is rigged this thing for the Chiefs or whatever, because that's all bullshit. But the referees seem to make a lot of bad calls against teams going up against the Chiefs.
Yep.
So I mean, there's evidence there, but there's evidence for every other team too. So I mean, it's hard to just pinpoint one team that they're trying to get on target with. But yeah, Kansas City is way too strong. They're still making moves. They're still making moves to better their team. Yeah, and they're a first place team, and they're undefeated. Whereas, Dallas is 3-5, and they go get a guy who can barely get off the damn sideline. So good luck with that, and they give up something for it. Got to make coffee. Well, we know what you're doing. So we know what you're doing, Cuervo. We get it.
I put it together. I got 2 pots of coffee right.
Yeah, in the toilet right there to finish your business. We got you.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it'll work. I don't know. But,
look, if I can carve a little door out here by the wall so people can go outside and go pee, That'd be awesome.
Uh-oh, we got
the middle
that.
of the street where the cars are.
We got that Oklahoma internet working a little bit. You're kind of stat, but you're back. There you go. You're catching up. It's weird to watch that happen. At least on my side, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a 5G thing. Yeah, I'm between the 5G and the LTE, so.
Gotcha. All right. So that being said, next game that's up on board, and again, we'll review when Cuervo gets back. An interesting game today: Atlanta and New Orleans. And kind of having the things happen the way they happen sometimes. I love it. I love this game, but new head coach. You know, I don't know if it would have been good, bad, or indifferent, but a good head coach. I think you know. I looked at the game. I was like, I love teams who make the move. Will they come out and play for the guy that they grabbed up? And that's what we might see here today, as New Orleans is taking on Atlanta team who is obviously taking over in reality in that division, has taken over the division. They're up on top, you know, and the Falcons 6-3. They got a 2-game lead over the Buccaneers, and that's big enough anyway. I think in reality, it's almost a must-win, so they can put themselves just that much farther ahead of the Buccaneers, so they can drop a game here and there, and they'll be okay. So but I just don't see it in reality with the new team. I don't even care. I think they are in New Orleans. Let's take a look. They are in New Orleans, and I don't even care that they're there. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm taking Atlanta because they're slowly. We can say whatever we want about my guy, Kirk Cousins. But outside of Kirk Cousins, other portions of that team are playing better. And they're playing better week in and week out. So that's where I'm at on this one. I'm going to go with Atlanta. What's your take?
I'm going Atlanta too. Again, they're the front runners right now, and I think they need to know. They know they have to win these kind of games to distance themselves from definitely the Bucks, but also to kind of, you know, see where they can fall in the seeding wise of the playoffs, because that's going to be important too. I think they're more constructed to win a game like this than the Saints. The Saints have struggled all year. They've had their ups, they've had their downs, they've had the backup quarterback for a while. Derek Carr's back in the rotation. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a really close, tough game. Maybe a 24-23 kind of game. So, I mean, I see it being close, but I do see Atlanta pulling out ahead. And again, I think last-second field goal will win it. But definitely it'll just send the Saints fans home kind of pissed that their season might be on the brink.
Yeah, I think you might be right. San Francisco in Tampa Bay. And here's your trap game of the week for the 49ers. And I say that.
They're 5-4. How's the trap game?
Because, I'd say it's a trap game for San Francisco. Listen, because Tampa Bay can beat you at any given time, especially at home, depending on how Baker Mayfield's playing from week in and week out. And if he shows up. So if they just walk in there thinking that they're going to beat Tampa Bay, that might be a problem for them. Never mind the injuries. There's a whole bunch of injuries going on with San Francisco. But I'm going to tell you right now, this is not just an easy pick game. I actually thought about this, and at one point I had clipped the bubble for Tampa Bay. But then I just thought about who's the better football team, and I decided to make the change. And I went with San Francisco as far as my pick. They're the better football team, but I'm telling you right now, Baker Mayfield has a way to sometimes come into a game and take over a game even though he probably shouldn't or had the capability of doing it. So it's one of those things. That's just what I look at in this game. Again, originally, and this was as of Friday, I had Tampa Bay as the winner of this game, but I'm going to just kind of go with the better team. And as far as San Francisco, is there much to think about this as far as this game is concerned for you anyway?
Well, let me ask you a question. Who's the better quarterback, Brock Purdy or Baker Mayfield?
Who's the better quarterback? To me, okay, I'm going to change the wording. Who plays better is Brock Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I think the better quarterback is Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
If Baker Mayfield had the 49ers offense, would he be as good as Brock Purdy?
Absolutely.
If Brock Purdy had the team that Baker Mayfield has as his team around him, would he be a better quarterback?
I think so, and I'll tell you the reason why. It's because of who they got at wide receiver. It's not just a one punch, two punch. Sometimes it's three.
Well, Mike Williams is out though, isn't he?
Huh?
Isn't Mike Williams?
I'm not
out?
sure. Let me take a peek at it. I got I'll find out on the thing, but give me a second. But you say it's all about what's going on with Brock Purdy, which is what I think is perfect about him. They're not expecting a lot from him. They're not putting too much weight on him, and I think that's a big deal.
Everywhere.
Yeah, it's special. It's so when you do have, it looks like for Tampa Bay, McMillan, he's questionable. For wide receiver Mike Evans is out for the game, so that's a big loss. But if you have Evans and you have a full wide receiver setup, yeah, I think Brock Purdy could do it as long as the coaching is working with Brock Purdy.
Well, here's
and moving them along as slow and as methodically as the 49ers are.
Well, here's the thing. The Niners get back Christian McCaffrey this week. And, again, he's only as good until he gets hurt again. I've always said that about him. He's very injury prone. Yes, but he's definitely a get for them right now because they need it. Kittle's still healthy. He can still play. Receiver-wise, they're having to throw the ball around a little bit. So I'm not sure if Deebo Samuel's back or not. But I know that
Deebo's back.
Okay. I'm going to go Niners. I'm going to go Niners on this only because I think they have the better team to put this together. If Baker Mayfield had all the ingredients that San Francisco had, they'd be almost unstoppable. It'd be almost like he would have when he had OU. That's how good that team is when they have weapons. When the weapons are missing, they're playing how OU is playing right now, which is not that great. So,
right.
But right now I'm going to go Brock Purdy and the Niners.
Yeah, I'm going to go.
So to my coworker Melissa, if you're watching this show and you're a big Niners fan, I'm picking your team.
There you go. Well, here's what I'll say. The injuries are always going to be a part of these games, okay? And where the 49ers are, okay? The Cardinals are actually in this division in the lead by a game. They're 5-4. Rams, 49ers are 4-4. Seahawks are 4-5. Okay? But the difference in reality is that the 49ers, as far as where they are, they just won last week. The Cardinals have won 3 in a row. The Rams have won 3 in a row.
That's surprising, by the way.
It is. And this division of football is really here's where the stretch happens. Now, we're in the second game in November, and this is where it makes a big difference in week in and week out.
Yeah.
So, Cuervo, the 49ers, this situation where they're at right now, they're going to get Christian McCaffrey back. I wouldn't even risk Christian McCaffrey in this game. Not right now. Yeah, he's eligible. He's been cleared
they need
to
him.
come
That's
back.
the problem.
I think they Well, they maybe to a certain point, but you can also bring him in off of the bench if you actually need that. I think that this is a mistake for them, especially with what you said at the beginning of this, Podfather. This guy is injury prone, and when he gets it, it just they come a lot. As far as here, 1 week here, then it'll be this, and then it'll be that. Before the end of the season, it could be lined up with 3 or 4 injuries, and then you don't have Christian McCaffrey when you need him, which is the playoffs. This is a big mistake if they play him. Cuervo, Deebo Samuels with a rib abdomen problem. Rib scares me because it's all about breathing. And that scares me too. That's why I was actually not on the 49ers when I picked it. I changed it. They are the better team. What's your take up on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the 49ers? In Tampa Bay, by the way.
Yeah, the game's in Tampa. I mean, I think it's a big boost for the Niners that they're getting McCaffrey back. I mean, I think he's one of the the leaders of the team. He's definitely a guy that makes a good example. I mean, he's one of the best at what he does. So, I think that this team is getting healthier, and just as we thought, okay, the 49ers are not they're just too many injuries. They're not going to be able to sustain it. They were able to get a couple of wins during the injuries, and now that team's getting healthy again. Aside from Ayuk, obviously you're not getting him back, but right. Debo's back. Kittle seems to be over whatever he had going on. Now you get McCaffrey back. Brock Purdy, as far as I know, there's nothing much with him injury wise. So I think that the Niners you're gonna see the Niners that we're used to seeing. I think they're gonna be clicking offensively. Defensively, I think Tampa Bay can get them at times. I think they are going to, sustain some good drives on that defense because, the 49ers just defensively, there's just something a little off about them. I don't know. I can't pinpoint out what it is exactly, but they're just not the same Niner defense that we're used to seeing where you get a lot of pressure up front. Nick Bosa's probably pissed off because he got fined for expressing his personal political opinion on national TV, but he's been a little off. So
he's got a hip injury, so that's part of what's going on there, I think.
Yeah, and but that's just one guy, and he's a big deal. But I think overall, I just think this defense, they've been exposed, and there's teams are trying to figure out how you can attack them, and it's been happening. So, and look, Baker Mayfield's no slouch, guys. You can think what you want. He's a punk. He's this. He's that. He's a good quarterback. He is.
Yep, he's a winner.
So, that's why I said this was a trap game. In reality, they're in Tampa. So San Francisco definitely needs to come with all cylinders going after this football team because before you know, with the weapons that they have, Mike Williams is out of it, but still, he's got a lot of guys he can throw the football to. And before you know it, they could be up 14-0, if San Francisco's not able to get out of the gate.
Right. So, what do we got here, guys? 5 seconds to go in the game, and we have a tie ball game. Giants and Panthers tied at 17.
That's just
nothing.
They're loving that in Germany.
Look, nothing more exciting than overtime with Giants and Panthers, guys. Let's go. This is how we want our Sunday.
God, I just, talk about a flip of the coin. I mean, in reality, it's just like, oh my God, this might be the worst game of the year in reality, if you think about, but the expectations of that game were not supposed to be where they are,
right, listen,
but they are.
I got a question for you guys. If the NFL really wants to promote the league overseas internationally, why do we continue to give them some of the worst games on the schedule? Why is that happening?
I have an answer for this. None of us will like this. All right. One thing, Jerry Jones hates going overseas, so they're probably not going to get the Cowboys. Number two, New York is a New York team. They're not the Jets, so we'll stick the Giants over there. Carolina, I don't get that one at all. Okay. But then again, I mean, they're going to put their big market teams over there, or they'll put Jacksonville because they can't sell at their own stadium. So I mean, it's one or the other. I read today that they want to have 8 international games next year. 8.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how far are we going to be from having a European league and the NFL over there as their own division?
Listen,
I
give it
think
10
what they
years.
got to
Who
do is
knows?
go through 16 weeks first.
I mean, 17.
Well, 18. 18 weeks over there. They gave a game a week before they could take that step. I don't think 8's enough for them to make that
Well,
step.
I mean, the thing is that with the NFL going to 17 games a season, if they're smart, they take one game out of because it's not scheduled, right? So take one of those games and don't make it a home and a visitor type thing. Put them over there. So you still split your home and away games 8 and 8. That'd be your best way to do it. But then you also want to get Mexico involved. You want to get Canada involved. You can get all these other countries involved. Again, you're making a global product out there. Baseball's done it. So I mean, the NBA has been trying to do it for a while. I mean, hell, the NBA has got more European players who are coming to the NBA than anybody else. So, it is what it is, and that's just the globalization of our sports. Do I like it? Not so much, but it is what it is.
Wow, my screen just got so much better. My internet's popping in and out, evidently, but man, I'm right up on it now.
Let's get Cuervo's back on the show, sir. So let's give it up for Cuervo.
Go back to him, and let's go back to the picks, the ones that we did pick while he was gone. Buffalo and Indianapolis, Cuervo. Your take up on that one as you see it today.
Yeah, this is rapid fire, so I'll make it quick. Listen, this game, I'm on upset alert for this one. No Amari Cooper for the Bills. No Keon Coleman for the Bills. Josh Allen back to having little to nothing at wide receiver. So I'm still going to go with Buffalo, but and the reason is because I think James Cook will have a big game. But don't be surprised.
You made a very strong case for the Colts, and all of a sudden, now I'm still going to go Buffalo, but don't worry about it.
I'm still going to go because I like the tease like that. I like the tease like that, Trey. I like the tease.
Talking about chair shots, Jesus Christ!
Exactly. So
when you thought you had
the one of all.
Yep, exactly. So I don't think there's a lot, probably just for home sake. Kansas City at home against Denver. We didn't have a lot to talk about it. I put it out there, and I don't know if you heard me, Cuervo. I am not picking against Kansas City anytime this year. So every game, I don't care who they are, I'm on Kansas City. So I'm obviously on Kansas City in this one. Who you got going up against the Denver Broncos in Kansas City?
Yeah, I'll quietly take the Kansas City refs. I'll take the Kansas City refs to win this game.
Conspiracy theorists there. Oh, Cuervo, you got to
boy. That's right now, aren't you? You're getting that look of death from the wife going,
No, you know what though? She knows it too. She knows she's conspiracy too on that when it comes to the Chiefs. Yeah. We both believe the same thing, and a
it's
lot
hard
of
not
people
to really, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it is. It's really hard not to. Yeah, I mean, you got to have the goggles on to not see what's going on.
I mean, it's everywhere. It's everywhere in the league. Bad calls are everywhere in the league, but they're specified more for the Chiefs because they've won for the last couple of years. So we're gonna keep looking at that and go, that's why they're winning. But yeah, it's everywhere.
Looking for that third three-peat right there in a row is what everybody's conspiracing about. But now the interesting game that we talked about that you got, Atlanta is in New Orleans with the new coach. I think it's funny how David Carr got the same coach fired from the Raiders as well as the Saints. Kind of funny, but that having been said, that's what we're seeing here as far as that's concerned. What's your take on Atlanta and New Orleans?
Listen, guys, normally when a team moves on from their head coach and the interim comes in, that first week it's like they look like a whole new team, right? And you would think that the Saints are going to be that team, I just don't think they're talented enough. Give me the Falcons.
I think you're right, and I think this is. I think that's Obi. I think he's just not signed in where he is because he's in Tennessee. It's his anniversary, so he's in Tennessee. I think that's him. As far as that's concerned, I can't unless it could be Dollar Bill. I don't know. We'll find out. But that being said, of course, that's the name of the show. So so as far as the next game up on board, Washington and Pittsburgh, we covered. So it's Minnesota and Jacksonville. I got something. I'll let you guys roll with that. Podfather, Minnesota and Jacksonville. What's your gig?
Minnesota's going to win. Jacksonville, I don't trust Jacksonville.
Cuervo, what about you? What's your take here, real quick?
Vikings.
I'm going to go Vikings, but here's what it is. They're going to get blown out today. They are going to get blown out today, and then I think we'll see the dismissal of Doug Peterson. I really think that's going to happen. I don't know who they're going to put in. Don't ask me all that stuff, but I think, it's how they're going to lose this game. If they can lose a close one, then it's the same old. But getting blown out today is not good for Doug Peterson at all. I think they make the move. I think they'll. We just lost the Podfather. He should be right back. Yeah,
Oklahoma internet.
Yeah. You thought mine was bad. His is even worse. But mine goes in spurts. But I think this is the week. If Jacksonville doesn't show up, and the main reason why, Cuervo, is they're at home. It's bad enough they got lucky to get funding for their new well, I don't know if it's new stadium or if they're just going to upgrade, but they got all that funding and everything for that to get done. They got to show something out on the football field at home. I just don't think they have enough in them to get that part done. So we'll head on to the next game, and then when the Podfather gets back, we'll get him in. We got the Chargers at Tennessee at the Chargers, Cuervo.
Yeah, I like the Chargers to win. But I think Tennessee could hang around.
You were talking about that earlier today.
Well, and I was talking about that too with the Baltimore Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
That the Titans, I think, is a team that could give them trouble. Anytime that a team can run the ball well, they're physical up front, just like the Titans are. I mean, they're a tough matchup for a lot of teams. They may not be very good, from a standpoint of like skill positions with receiver and all that, but that a team like the Titans, I think, Sonny, really really shows you that it's proof that being good up front, offensive, defensive line is really the foundation of a good football team, because I think they're a team that can give anybody trouble on any given Sunday because of how good they are on the offensive and the defensive line. The problem now is that they need to get better. Is Will Levis their quarterback of the future? Who's their number one receiver now that they traded DeAndre Hopkins? Who do they have on defense? So in the secondary, who's a guy that can be a ball hawk for them, a guy that can make plays and get some interceptions and create turnovers? Like, they don't have that in Tennessee. But what they do have is solid offensive, defensive line play, and that's why they're competitive any given Sunday.
Podfather, as far as the Chargers in Tennessee, what you got?
Chargers, Tennessee. They got Levis playing quarterback for Tennessee. He's make or break for me. But Chargers, I mean, again, I don't think much of the Chargers, but I think more than I do the Titans. So I'm gonna give me the Chargers.
I'm on the Chargers too. Just mainly, you take a look at Tennessee and where they're at. They're exactly where they should be with the new head coach and moving on. And moving on to get better and go for it. Giants and Carolina time. 8 minutes to go. Thank you.
Yeah. Panthers just won, Sonny. Panthers just won.
All right. I got lucky. I got the Panthers on that one. Feeling good. All right, watch out. Starting this week out good. I got Thursday and the early game. I normally get one or the other. And 1 week I went 0-2, so I'm feeling pretty good walking into it. Thank you very much. Carolina wins. Hits the field goal. All right, so next game up on board is we got about 14 more minutes left to go here in the show. The Philadelphia Eagles and Dallas Cowboys. We talked about Arizona and the Jets. Man. I'll just say it again. Man, this one's a tough one because Arizona is on top in their division. They're 5-4, which I don't think anybody really expected. Yeah, I don't think anybody expected that. Now, that being said, it's not an exciting 5-4. It's still Kyler Murray. It's still the nonsense that he does from week to week. But listen, I should have just stayed with my pick. I switched my pick at the end of it. I was on Arizona. I was so mad I switched. But Arizona is one of those tricky teams. And again, Podfather knows this head on more than anybody because of the Dallas Cowboys and what happens from week in and week out whenever they play each other. So that being said, what's your take up on Arizona, again, at home against Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, Podfather?
Well, this is a trap game for me to pick. If I pick the Cardinals, I'll lose, even if it's in Arizona. But I'm gonna pick the Jets for perhaps the last time because I think Aaron Rodgers has given up. I think he's looking this year and he's like, I can't do nothing with this team. And he's getting killed, and he ain't digging it so much, and he hates the New York pressure, and he hates all the things that he signed up for. So, yeah, I think it's my last time I'm going to pick the Jets to do anything. If they win, I'll continue to pick them. If they lose, never again, because this should be a team they should be able to beat. Arizona is not that great, and to be in the front runner in the West is incredible, but they are. Can't argue. Let me ask you guys a question. If the Arizona Cardinals played the Washington Commanders right now, who would you pick?
The Arizona Cardinals played the Washington. Well, I think that's easy. It'd be easy for me.
You think it's easy, but is it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Absolutely.
So,
better coaching. Better coaching.
The thing is, you got a lot of lady luck playing on both teams right now. And Arizona, especially with a quarterback who's not necessarily 100% there, that's astounding. That's astonishing because you never see that happen where a guy who doesn't give a shit is like, yeah, we're winning. Great. We won 3 in a row. Who would have thought? Well, I did because I don't care. But the Jets are a different breed. The Jets are beat up, though, and Jets do not have all the pieces that Aaron Rodgers wants that team to have. General manager Aaron Rodgers, he's got to put together this little team of his, and it's too late in the season to really build a Super Bowl contender. So does he have enough to want to stick in there and go, well, after week 17, I'm out. So do I care? And, but this is a game that he could win. This is a game that I think is definitely a win. It's in Arizona, which is not the best place to play. But, give me the Jets.
Cuervo, what's your take?
I've got Arizona in the pick 'em. I'm not going to change it. And so I just think
my expert analysis did not make you switch your pick. I'm shocked.
No, yeah, I just don't have enough faith in the Jets offensively. They traded Mike Williams away. That's not really too big of a deal. But I just too much questions on the offense of the Jets. I think, and plus Arizona's at home. They're tough at home. I saw it firsthand. So
you did.
Arizona.
I'm going to go Arizona because they're a sneaky team. They're not the traditional juggernaut for NFL football team. They're just and frankly they never have been. But at the same time, it just goes to show what the momentum is in a game. Okay, you look at Arizona right now as far as where they are. They've got the Big Mo working with them better than they've had in a long time. Now, this is the opportunity. They've won. By the way, in case people didn't know it, Arizona's won 3 games in a row. Okay, that's why which is insane to think about because I wouldn't have thought.
I switched my pick. Yeah, I switched it.
You're going Arizona, yeah, because I'm going Arizona too.
I talked myself out of the Jets.
I don't blame you. This is such a pick'em game. That's why it don't matter who you pick. It's not a bad pick. So I don't think you're dumb for switching. I don't think you're dumb to have the Jets either. Well, I know. I get that. I understand that. So, but I'm going to go Arizona in this one. I think it should be really interesting to see how that. Oh, we just lost him again. Jeez Louise. Oh, he's back. Can't make up your mind.
I'm having internet issues. Guys, I'm gonna bail because I'm having internet issues and it's just a pain in the ass. So you guys have
a good one.
All righty.
We'll catch you next week, and then we'll go. Of course, we got his picks when in the pick 'em. So that leaves 2 games that are on tap. Detroit is at Houston on Sunday Night Football. Cuervo. Great. I think this is a great game, and I think it's great for both teams because both of these teams. Well, here I guess I'll just hit. There it goes because it kind of froze. Both of these teams are the up and comings. The Lions a little bit more up and coming because they've been doing it for a little bit, but now where they are, as far as listen, people are talking NFC Championship game. If you want to put them up there, feel good about them, that's great. But this right here is like a mini Super Bowl. You're going up against a team that's sort of just like you, maybe a year behind. Can you get the win being a year really kind of ahead of them? Or do you see the Texans just coming and, teaching them a lesson on what it's all about? I don't know. They're in Houston. What's your take up on it?
Yeah, this gotta be my favorite game. I think it's a lot of people's favorite game of the week. Yep. This is gonna be, obviously 2 of the best teams in the league right now. With Detroit being probably the best, I would say I would give them a slight edge over Kansas City. Just because I think they could beat them on a neutral field. But I like Detroit to win. I think they'll get enough pressure on Stroud. I think that the offense is clicking, and I don't know that anybody can stop them on offense. So I like the Lions.
Yeah, last week the Lions didn't win. So that kind of – I thought they lost last week.
No, they took care of business up in Lambeau.
Okay, I was looking at something wrong then. I saw them something else. Okay, so they did take care of them. Let me see. They beat by 10. So all right. So the page I was looking at said that they lost. So, but I probably was on a page I had it from the week before. But I think everybody's talking about how the Lions are and what they are all about. This right here could be that, if you want to talk track game, who's the better team? In reality, it's probably the Lions, and that's why I'm on the Lions. But this is that trap game. You got to go in there. If you're the Detroit Lions, you got to beat the better teams. Moving in to get the Big Mo, going into the playoffs on a high when you win against good football teams, and that's what Detroit is. Houston needs to take that step from where they are, which at 6-3, it's not a bad football team, but they got to be better. So I think that's where a lot of those, when you're looking at the game, that's where a lot of people should be looking. This game scares me. It's a trap game. I'm on the Lions. Would not shock me if the Houston Texans were able to come back and come back and win the game. So, but I'm on the Lions, I think, like most people are. So That being said, last week, last game, Monday Night Football, I don't have a lot to say about it, but I will say this. The Rams have won 3 games in a row. The Rams need to win this football game because if the Arizona Cardinals win and they lose, all of a sudden you're looking at a different thing in the standings for the Arizona Cardinals and the Rams. Right now, the Cardinals are up 1 game on them. If the Rams lose and the Cardinal win, that's going to be miserable. The Cardinals will be 6-4, and the Rams will be 4-5. And going into November, I think you need to hold on to as much of a lead that you possibly can. So the Rams, they need to make up for it. I think this is one of those games that scares me and also as well. Do I ride the 3-game winning streak that the Rams going against, or do I look at how Miami played last week and ask myself the question, are they getting back together a little bit? Are they coming? Are they, now that we have, because they stood toe to toe with Buffalo, lost by a field goal. All right. They should have won that football game. So I'm actually going to go with what I saw last week as far as Miami is concerned. And I'm going to go Miami in this game. And it's probably a slight upset, I imagine, because I think if I'm not mistaken, the Rams are probably favored in the game. So what's your take upon what you think with the Rams and Miami?
Yeah, I think that, well, first of all, is Puka Nacua going to play for the Rams? That I don't know because I think he injured himself again.
Who did?
Puka Nacua.
Oh, yes. I think he did hurt himself. I'll pull that up. I got the injury report. But go ahead with your take, and I'll get that info for you.
Yeah, I've got the Rams in the pick'em because I don't know if I fully trust Miami. Even though Tua is back and everything sounds and looks all good and whatnot, I just think that Miami is they're still struggling.
Yep.
The way they lost that game 2 weeks ago against the Cardinals at home, by the way. That was a tough loss. And then what did Miami do last week? Didn't they play Buffalo and got beat? I think they got beat again.
Yes, by 3, but it was 30-27 if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, I have that right here. Let me hit that button right there. Yes, it was 30-27.
Right.
So there was a lot of points scored.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you know what? Buffalo has their numbers, so we kind of knew that was going to happen anyways.
Right. They made a game of it, that's for sure.
Yeah, they did, and I just want to see Miami click on offense. And once they do that, then I'll have a little bit more belief in them. But until then, I think the Rams being at home, Monday Night Football, all that good stuff, I think that'll give them enough energy to muster a win up. So I'll take.
Who was the guy you were worried about? Was it Cam Curl?
No, Puka Nacua.
Oh, okay. I don't see him on the injury report, so that's actually a good thing for you.
Okay, well then maybe he is back for the Rams. So that's more of a reason to pick the Rams.
Right. It's something to look at. I don't see him on the IR, so to where he'd be out of out on the football, not on the football field. So looks like he's got a clear sailing for that one. So all right, we did it yet again. Week number 10 of the NFL, and good show. Always good to be hanging out with my guys, and we'll do it again next week, I hope. It just all depends on how business goes. So just keep up. So just to give you a heads up, Cuervo, if I'm not going to be on, depending on his schedule, the Podfather said he would go ahead and do the show, and he'd send out the invites and stuff like that. So we got him handling. We're gonna make him do all the heavy lifting if I am unfortunately not able to be there. So that is gonna do it for us here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Make sure you join us Friday night as the Saxony Mustangs are going to be taking on the Rockwall Yellow Jackets in the first round of the Texas high school football playoffs. Until then, have a good week. Enjoy the game. We'll be back here at our regular scheduled time, whether it's me and anybody else, so we'll do it. So everybody have a good one. Thanks for joining us. We're out of here. Take care. Bye.